hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Shout out to the day ones. We about to hit our 5-year mark, so I want to shout out the day ones, man. Like who could harken back to a time, where an admin could come out and we could say what we don't like about it, and nobody batted an eye.
For real, bro. For real. It's crazy.
And we can just pull up a damn app and be like, yo, this is bullshit. They like, yeah, they keep it real on Permission to Speak Freely.
Oh, man.
It kind of solidified our reputation to where now we got people in the DMs. Hey, I know y'all saw what happened.
Hey,
Quantico.
Bro, we might have to change our name fucking around here, man.
Permission to Speak Cautiously.
Yeah, for real, man.
Hey, I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get me and Damo caught up, man. Y'all ain't going to get us caught up, bro. I'm telling you, don't try to pump us up. Don't try to amp us up.
Somebody said, hey, I can't wait till next week till y'all get this coverage. I sent like 16 laughing emojis, right? He like... Nah, I'm like, what you want us to say? He like, I just know it's gonna be funny. don't try to juice me up, dog.
It's not happening. Not happening, brother.
It's a lapse of appropriations, man. It's gonna be limited updates, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be limited updates.
You read that shit just like we read it. That's where it's at. It is what it is.
We are not crash dummies, man. And a lot of people, they want you, hey, no, we need you to keep it real about it. Like, you don't have a podcast. Like, and you not saying nothing either. You want somebody to go out and speak for you. We told y'all before when something happened that we would, we're going to talk about it, a lot about it. I'm going to try my best to say something I don't like or something that, I got questions about. But I'm going to also walk the line, man. I heard what the president said to the generals, man, when he told them that they could leave. You can leave, but... you gonna be fired and lose all your benefits. All your stuff,
yeah. He was talking to us, bro. He was talking to us too. Shit.
Look, I don't even know if we're gonna start there because it's a lot to read. It's a whole lot to read. I guess we just start off with just what we've been. Hey, for the listeners, we're gonna get there early. If that's what y'all came to hear us talk about, is the SecDef and our Sec War. Is saying SecDef an act of defiance nowadays? Like, I was thinking that too. Like, it's some people that straight Sec War. I go either way because I don't think it's official yet. So I go either way. But we gonna get into that because SecDef pulled a Michael Corleone to me. You know what I'm saying? You familiar with Godfather 1?
I am not.
Oh shit!
Watched, bro. I'm gonna tell you about it, man. And I know you know all these movies, bro. I watched all these movies, but I can't quote them, and I can't I can't track them like that. I know your ass be on the movies, man. But
I mean, so on Godfather 1, and I could be a little relative, but I'm gonna try my best, right? So on Godfather 1, Mike was Don's son, and Mike took over, the family. And the other families, I want to say it was 5 families, but the other families thought Mike was soft. Like, they ain't think he could, handle the mantle. So the way the movie ended, or the pinnacle scene from that movie, and anybody, please correct me if I'm wrong. Mike he went to a wedding, or it was either a wedding or like a bar mitzvah, or he went to an event. I think it was a wedding. But while Mike was at the wedding, he got all the other heads of the other families killed. Like, he got them all killed while he got them all killed while he was at the wedding. And that was kind of like the pinnacle of the movie. And that's kind of what I thought SecDef did, because while he was in Quantico, all of the memos dropped. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, I'm going to hit him over the head with the memos while I'm at Quantico. So I was like, yo, did he pull a Michael Corleone? I know I butchered Godfather, y'all, but I wanted to watch it again just for this, but I watched another 2-hour and 40-minute movie this week, and that was one battle after another, so I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But let's go All right, let's talk. Let's start with just. It was your second week or your first?
No,
was it your
first week, bro. Week? First full week, bro.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man. I'm not gonna get too deep into this, man, but I'm here to tell you, man. The aviation community, man. I think it's built for me, bro. I think it's built for me, man. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's built for me, and I know people gonna have different, opinions on this, but I looked at it and I was thinking about it. You got a maintenance master chief that worries about maintenance, right? Then I say, you know what? Maybe I can worry about manpower and things like that, right? Guess what? You got a AMO that deals with that, right? So guess what I deal with? I'm walking around. I'm all in people's office. I'm shaking hands. How y'all doing? That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Making sure sailors are taken care of and things like that, man. Like, I know I'm going to be involved in a lot of other things, but bro, I'm not stepping on no toes, bro.
Yeah.
I ask you some questions. Let me be out there with the sailors, man. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that, man. I already got some stuff in the works, man. I'm going to have sailors coming to talk to me. They're going to pick who come see me, bro. And I'm going to have, you can bring your LPO with you. You can bring your chief with you. You can bring your Divo with you. We finna have a conversation. We finna talk. I'm finna get to know the sailors. All this stuff I got in the works, man, I already put out, man. And I can't wait, bro. I'm like, and I got full permission to do things like this. COX, so go for it.
Yeah.
What? Let's go. So I'm really finna enjoy this aviation stuff, man. I'm really finna put my feet down and really enjoy it, man.
Let me get one of your ideas, bro.
Okay.
Give it to me.
You say one of my ideas?
Yeah. Pause. Give me the idea again. Give me one of your ideas, bro.
You talking about having the sailors come in weekly?
One of your things you about to, give to the command. One of the things you about to implement. Yeah.
So first thing I'm gonna call it chat with the CMC, right? Uh-huh. At first I was gonna call it, coffee time or coffee with the CMC, but the shift work don't have me. I can't do it every morning because they on shifts. So it ain't gonna be the coffee thing, man. I'm just gonna have them come in weekly. Underway, when I get underway with the shift, it's gonna be probably daily then. But it's gonna pretty much have them coming in, man. We're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna talk about them, introductions, talk about where they from, how they living, what's in it for them, what they doing, goals, all that type of stuff, man. And I think what that does is, man, it takes us back to the sailors, man, and CMC out there having real conversations, man. And that's what I want to do, man. I want to hear what they thinking, man. A lot of times sailors be in their little moments and they don't be thinking they feel like they can't talk about things, right? Yeah. So I'm going to give them that opportunity to feel like they can open up and they can talk about things, man. And then I'm going to listen to them, and hopefully give them some advice, and hopefully they can go back and be like, okay, that sounds pretty good, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, well, man, how do I start this, bro? You know what I'm saying? My XO was gone last week. She was at a Navy week. She came back this week. Me and her from the gate, we start talking and stuff. I met her a month ago when I went there for a little bit of time. I met her. And, she's cool and stuff. So we talk, we working together, we doing some stuff. She comes in my office, end of the day, bro. It's our first date back, bro. She come in my office end of the day. She was like, hey, anybody, you know about the mustache policy? I'm like, nah, I don't, like I got to address the elephant in the room. And as I hearken back, I use that word again. When I went to the recruiting event at Great Lakes, the CMC at the time did say that it was a strict no shave policy and you couldn't even have a mustache, at the command. But I couldn't remember that. My brain wasn't working like that, honestly. I wasn't trying to be defiant. My brain wasn't working like that. So XO was like, yeah, you can't have a mustache here. We tell everybody they can't have a mustache, and that's everybody. She's like, do you got any issues? She said, unless you have it like a medical. I was like, I ain't got. She's like, you got any like issues with that problem? I was like, yes, I do.
Bro,
I do have a problem with it. I was like, I'm gonna be walking around like looking like a Ninja Turtle,
Man.
And that's what I said. Like, She's like, what you mean by? Like, you gonna be looking like, I'm like, I'm bald. Like, I'm gonna have like zero hair on my face if I do this, you know? I'm like, not saying I'm not gonna do it. I signed up for this, but it's, you know, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it. Soon as I went home, bro, like, I didn't pass go. I ain't collect $100. I grabbed the razor, bro, and I just made do with it, bro. Like, I just took my damn mustache off, yo. So for the listeners or the people watching on YouTube, that's the elephant in the room. Your boy does not have a stash anymore, man.
Hey, let me tell you, Damo, man, like, I was thinking about your job, man, and how exciting it is to do what you do, man.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, in my interview process, if I was going for your job and they tell me I have to shave my mustache out, bro, I pretty much gonna politely take myself out the running. Bro, I done had this mustache since I was a kid, bro. Ain't no way it's going nowhere. I would have politely took myself out the running.
Like LeBron when he grabbed the bag and got about it. Like, I honestly, I thought, I was like, damn, yo, I wouldn't have, man, if I really kind of factored this mustache thing in, I wouldn't be here. Like, you know, I'd be, send me anywhere, bro. You know, shoot program, you know, 24-hour lockdown, bro. Like, it's just, you know, but you just gotta make do with it. And I shaved it, and it's like, it ain't come off as, I've been in the gym. I know you've been looking at the watch, right? I've been working out like hardcore. So what, I guess facial structure wise, it ain't come off as crazy. My mustache was kind of pencil thin anyway, so it ain't look as bad as I thought. I made the most of it, man. So that's the first thing. So the second thing about the command, bro, is, you know, not only do you command and be CMC, you also gotta be a commander of troops and go out and do all of these events, like all these ceremonies. You gotta go do it. It ain't easy, bro. like it's not easy. Like nothing. Like the ceremonial guard don't stand at attention like the regular Navy. You don't kick your toes out. Like, it's not like that. Your feet are together. Your feet are together. And you don't about face, you don't turn, you don't do anything like the regular Navy. Everything is different. The way you speak is different and all that. And then we got this cutlass or saber or sword or whatever people call it when you know, whenever they operate it.
Yeah.
And there's things you gotta do with it. And all this shit is hard, bro. Like, so I'm sitting with one of the chiefs in one of the third classes, and we talking about this, and I'm getting training, and I'm like, yo, I was a EM in the Navy, and some of that stuff, like the technical stuff, is pretty complicated. I'm like, yo, this is the hardest shit I ever did in my life, man. Like, it's gonna take me a little bit to catch up with some of this. Just flipping the sword, bro, from like down to like, it goes from like down to like straight up, and it got like rest on your shoulder without popping or nothing. That shit is hard, bro. But your boy gonna be doing it one of these days, bro. You gonna see me somewhere doing it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so that, learning that. My command also, we made a reel this week. I had my PAO team. So my PAO team, which I think is weird because we got PAO billets and they all unfunded, which to me is crazy because it's the ceremonial guard. So somebody out there listening, I ain't get my AMM yet, but somebody out there listening, take heed. Like, why the hell doesn't the ceremonial guard have an MC and a PAO team? Like, if any command should have an MC and a PAO team, it should be the ceremonial guard. Like, nobody could tell me why we shouldn't have one. So we use our sailors, like after they get a certain qual, like fulls, our standards, they could come up and be a part of the PAO team. And now it's about finding people with talent that like posting. Like I said, one of my guys, he worked with Dick Wolf before, so he definitely probably, you know, coming up, he got his standard squad, so he probably gonna come up and help out because the guys that's in there, they're leaving. But we made a reel. We did something a little different, like a little fun reel. And bro, I was a little tight because I was looking at the comments, and some of the comments were negative, you know? And I don't mind negative comments in PTSF like that anymore. Like, but to watch my sailors get negative comments, I got tight. I was so tight, I called Aaron. You know, I would have called you, bro, but I don't know, you probably was golfing or something. You probably ain't had no time. So I hit up Aaron,
time, bro.
I hit up Aaron, and Aaron, you know, he was like, I'm like, man, I'm gonna just tell him turn off the comments. So I go back to work. I talk to my seller, PAL, man. These sellers, they at least 10, 12 years younger, way more than 10 years younger, like a lot younger than me, maybe 15. And I'm like, hey, I was looking at the comments, and because I had DM'd them from my personal account. And he was like, oh, man, that was you. I was like, yeah, I was looking at the comments and it was some negative stuff. Boom, boom, boom. He was like, honestly, CMC, like the negative stuff, they from people that's here. Like, he's like, they from guardsmen, either people that's here or people that's going. He was like, they the same ones that was saying we need to post stuff like this. He was like, so I really don't care. He was like, I don't think anybody would care. We know who's writing those comments. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, he took it a lot, and I thought to do that too, because I wanted to see how he would take it. So he took it a lot different than I took it. But what I did say was, hey, can we delete the negative comments? Not because it like y'all impacted by it, but a lot of people, family members, they see their like siblings and their kids on those posts, and they like very proud, Yeah. And I would hate to rain on their parade with just some back and forth, playful negativity from either active guardsmen or people that left. So we are going to just make sure we delete the negative comments.
Yeah.
But I thought that was crazy, and I learned some stuff from him.
That's I guess the craziest part about it is like, well, you know what? It ain't as crazy. Your own command, making the comments. I guess it ain't as crazy, but it's make you think though, like, wow, man, like shit. But
they like, yo, who videoing these, and it just gets worse. It's like, and I'm looking at them devastated, like, man, I let my sellers open themselves up to, because our social media was pretty bland, so I'm like, damn, I let my sellers open themselves up to this type of scrutiny, man. Like, I feel bad, like why you do this, CMC? But so we turned up. I filmed some shit at the command, I think. At this point now, 2 weeks ago, but I ain't edited. We can't really post anyway right now because of the government shutdown.
Yeah.
So I ain't even edited it yet, but I can't wait to edit it. It's going to be cool. And then the last thing that happened this week outside of the government shutdown we about to talk about is at a check-in, bro. I checked in 2 sellers at the same time. I did something I never did before, bro. Yeah. Not checking in 2 sellers at the same time, but I shared some poetry with these dudes, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like 2 verses. Like,
hold up. Before you tell me, how did that come about, though? That's what I want to know. Like, how did you get to that point?
We were talking about music.
Oh, okay.
We was talking about music, and we was talking about, and it was a Drake verse Kendrick, Big 3 conversation, and who was who and all that. And it got to a point where I was feeling like maybe my opinion was questionable on like skill set. You know what I mean? Like, or if somebody could make words rhyme, because I'm a CMC and these dudes probably don't know. So we talked, and I was like, hey, yo, if I share, and then of course, and they did the same thing everybody do. Like, why are you in the Navy, CMC? Like, what are you doing? Like, and it was 2 of them, and I told them, and I was talking about a poetry club, and I told them about like maybe we could do something like that there. But also, the biggest part of my check-in is telling sellers that whoever they are, like at heart, like whatever talents they have, don't let your uniform stop you from having those talents, because I think whoever you are enhances the uniform. So me sharing poetry only goes along with the general core theme of my check-in anyway. Like, I want people to be whoever they are, so they, so we can enhance the command that way. Like, bring your gifts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool check-in, and it was impromptu. Like, they just walked up on me, and I should have been doing something else. That's my biggest thing now, is trying to control my time, bro.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that, boy. A lot of times with me too, though, with the time thing. So I'm with you.
Yeah, like my captain gave me my CEO gave me a couple projects, and between trying to do them and people coming to the office, and I heard word on the street is my office is kind of booming. So like, more is people coming, you know what I mean? So that there, and then me going out, talking to people, having conversations and stuff is pretty fun. I mean, what I like about it is it's all just one building, I'm going to go over to the barracks tomorrow. But another major thing that happened was that government shutdown, bro.
Yeah. The government shutdown, man. Let me tell you. So I'm in the news, bro. Like even in the morning time, man, like me and Ella had this thing, man. We call it our little breakfast coffee thing. We always get up and we have like coffee together in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, another thing, aviation. I got that time, man. You know what I mean? I got that time to have coffee in the morning with my wife. That's cool. So in the morning, she gets up and we have coffee in the morning. So we cut on the news, man. So every morning we watch probably like the first 30 minutes of the news, bro. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to tell you right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the shutdown finna be probably the longest of what I have seen before in my life, man. Because I think with the politics side of it, man, I think it's so freaking divided and people don't give a F. Like, I'm listening to this stuff and I'm not into politics either. I'm not at all. But I'm listening at them going back and forth. I don't think no one wants to win.
It's no one. It's up.
Yeah, man. Like, it's crazy. But it's a big deal, man. And I think I hope it get better, man. I'm hoping, but boy, I don't see it, man. And I think a lot of people is going to feel this pain, on this one, man. I got a feeling.
Yeah, see, me, I'm a little different, bro. I got to pay attention. I didn't know. Coming off of leave, I'm getting to the new command, and every civilian I'm talking to, they keep talking about like, well, if the government shut down, then this, that. And I'm like, why everybody keep talking about what is that even a part of the conversation for? Like, these people doom and gloom over here.
Yeah.
And then I think like 3 days before, I go past the skipper office and him, XO, and I think somebody in there is like, hey, we talking about the government shutdown. I'm like, it's like, and I'm in my head, I'm like, damn, the government must be really about to shut down.
It's about to go down.
I'm totally, for the listeners, whoever judge me, I'm totally oblivious to this shit, bro.
Yeah.
And coming off of 30 days of leave too, so nobody really talking about it. We not talking about it in my house, and I really don't watch the news, bro. Like, I don't know what the weather is when I go outside, bro. I'm probably wrong about this. I don't know today. I don't know if it's gonna rain later.
Oh, man.
So, like, I'm just we get a downpour and I'm surprised. It started raining, bro. But I did share. So we got this app we use called AOK. That's kind of like how we communicate with the command. I honestly wish that we had that at my last command because it was structured the same way. It's no 1MC. So I think the AOK app helps. But with the AOK app, I was able to share some resources into the app for the sellers about financial stuff that came from the JAG that help us out while we going through the furlough. I'm thinking a little bit while I'm talking. I'm not going to share those like right now while we talking, but if somebody needs those resources and they didn't get them, hit me up, right? They call U.S. Navy JAG Corps Fiscal Year 26 Government Shutdown Information and Resources for Military. If somebody need them, hit me up. But hit me up like as soon as you hear the episode. Like, don't hit me up if you listen to this episode 3 to 4 weeks later. Don't hit me up. Don't email us. And I guess that's what I was hesitant about because I was trying to figure that part out. Because people do that sometimes. It's like, yo, if you need this, hit us up. And then you like 2 months, yo, y'all said somebody hit us up about a conversation we had like 4 years ago. Can I get such and such's information? I'm like, I want to help, and I tried my best, and I couldn't do it, bro. NC1 Martinez. I want to say this though, Navy Fed, right? If you out there telling your people, if you're a leader and you out there telling your people that Navy Fed gonna automatically pay them, USAA gonna automatically pay them, you're wrong. That is not gonna happen this year. So in 2013, it was a Pay Our Military Act. And the new version of that Pay Our Military Act has not been passed. So do not tell your sellers that they get automatically paid. As of today, it is 4 October 2025. It is not passed. So what they need to do is go on to whatever bank they have and see what they got going on. So Navy Fed, for instance, they have a government shutdown assistance program where they'll give you a loan. And from what I saw with that loan is it's the last 3 paychecks you got. So they're going to pull from the last 3. They're going to give you an option to get either the last paycheck you got, the one before that, or the one before that as far as the money. So then you get that loan and then you pay it back whenever we get paid. So that's what I saw.
Yeah. Same thing. And I think people taking that as, okay, they're going to give you or whatever that the act was, but it's not that. It's they giving this a loan. Don't get it twisted. It's a loan.
And you got to get it. It ain't automatic. You got to sign up for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so if you need to get it, jump on and sign up. And I don't know what USAA is doing in particular, but I'm sure they have something because it is on that resource list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's jump away from the military real quick. I promise y'all we about to get into these letters and all that because that's pretty much the bulk of the episode. But let's jump away from the Puff got sentenced 4 years, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, 4 years, mate. I don't know, man. I saw a little bit of it, man. They was talking about it. I know they was trying to get old Puff like no time, man, and all that stuff. Shit. I think he got off with the 4 years, man. I think
you do. You think so?
Yeah, man, because it's some stuff going on, man. And I don't think we as the public probably know everything, man. But there was a lot going on in there, man. I also, Damo, I'm talking out of not knowing all the facts, right?
You know what he was found guilty for, though, right?
Yes, I know a lot of the big things that was happening. He didn't get found guilty of, right?
Yeah, he just got found guilty on those 2 counts of prostitution.
That was it.
Yeah,
but you ain't give him no 4 years and some prostitution shit.
That's what he got found guilty for, prostitution.
Shit. Yeah. Okay. That
got 4 years. That's why they thought he was going home. His lawyers thought they had a speaking engagement set up. He had a speaking engagement.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He only got found guilty for the. Then we know what he did. We saw the video on Kim beating Cassie and that abuse, the intimate partner.
That's what I was thinking. He was probably going to be some assault.
He wasn't even on trial for that. That's a crazy. Like he was on probably trial in the court of public opinion for all of that stuff, but he wasn't even on trial for that. And he was found. Like they tried to get him on a RICO charge. I think that got dropped quickly, and then so he was literally found guilty for just the prostitution counts. And I mean, I know dudes that probably bought more prostitutes than Puff. You know what I mean?
100.
Overseas, man. Road to Spain, man. I know some dudes that threw more money down than Puff, man. So, they ain't doing no time. They living free, man. They in their backyard with their grandkids drinking lemonade, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh now, my goodness, Damo.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, David knows. David been on them Liberty points, man.
Oh man,
red light districts, man. And all that was a thing of the early 10s, 08s,
90s, 90s,
90s.
Yeah, man.
The military then funded a lot of Ukrainian women, man. You know what I mean? I mean, this is what it is, but none of that takes away from the fact that Puff is what he is, did what he did. So 4 years and he'll be home, I guess, after that. I was thinking, and I don't even know the specifics yet. Like, is it going to be probation? Like, is he going to be home during those 4 years? Because he already did, damn near... right?
And you know what? That stuff matters too, man. A lot of times I see in there, it's called time served. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'll get some stuff off for time served and all that stuff. So he might find a way to get up out of there, man. Probation is a thing, man. So they might give him some time served and probation.
I heard he was teaching classes in there, bro.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, Puff a smart dude, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he doing anything in his power to get the hell up out of there. Whatever that looks like, Puff is doing it to get out of there, man. I'm telling you.
Would you go to the Puff class if you was in jail? Would you go?
Nah, man. I ain't gonna have anything to do with Puff classes or anything he doing because of, you get fuck around, get associated with whatever Puff doing, you doing. I ain't trying to be about all that.
That's wild, bro.
I'm not trying to be around all that lifestyle, bro.
I probably want to hear about, man.
Nah, bro, I want to hear
business?
about, bro.
He talking about being a mogul?
Yeah, he is a mogul. He is a business guy, man. But hey, I here to tell you, boy, he used that power for a whole lot more, man.
Yeah.
Baby oil and everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, man, I want to throw in there too about the something, man, that we just got to do better at, man. And I want to throw those. We got the mass shootings, man. I want to real quickly hit that, man. Man, it's sad, man.
I
just wanted to say that, man. It's sad. We had like 3 mass shootings in like the same day, right? It's just sad, man, that we going out there doing like, and some of it probably, and I don't even know. I just looked at them briefly, man, and I don't even care what it's about. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care if it's dislike it, whatever the case may be, man. We going out there and we killing innocent people, man. Innocent people because of their ideas or their political views or whatever, man. That's what are we doing, right? What are we doing that we got to take it to that level, man? And I just wanted to say my condolences out to the families, man, everybody who's involved, and we just gotta think before we act, man. Like, I don't know, everybody just divided on certain things, but it's okay. That's what I want to say, Damo. It's okay to be divided on something. It's okay to have different ideas. It's okay to have different views, man. But when we start taking somebody's life for that stuff, man, that's when it's on a whole nother level, man. Whole nother level.
Yeah. Yeah, because you wasn't here. You wasn't here when we talked about Charlie Kirk. Is there anything you want to add about Charlie Kirk?
My condolences to his family, right? That goes back to the views thing, man. But I don't want to mess with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, man. I'm gonna tell you right there. I'm gonna just leave all that stuff alone when it comes to Charlie Kirk, because that's a whole nother thing to try to tackle, and I don't want to tackle it right now, though.
Okay.
I don't want to tackle it.
I just wanted to, I wanted to make sure, give you the floor, give you the opportunity, man.
Yeah, man, leave that shit alone, Flip.
Yeah.
Nice try, though.
Yeah. All right, so I guess it's time to get to it, man. I was trying to prolong it. I was trying to prolong it a little bit, but it's time to get to it. Where you want to start with this, though? You want to start with the telecast, like the live stream telecast? I got a couple thoughts of the live stream that SecDef did with the president. I didn't watch SecDef's part. Yeah. Like when he addressed the generals and admirals. I didn't watch that. I did watch the president's, though.
Yeah.
You know? And
yeah, we can start right there, man.
All right. Is your phone? Is that your phone?
No. That's Ella's laptop. Ella's iPad in here with me, and she can answer her phone. Sorry about that, people. Yeah. She ain't gonna answer either. She probably still asleep.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, the teller. I watched it, bro.
Yeah. The live stream joint?
The live stream at YouTube. I watched some. I ain't watch all of the presidents, but I did watch all of the SecDef or whatever. I watched it, man. It was, man, you know, in the beginning, watching it, I was like, you know, some of the stuff he's saying is making some sense. You know what I mean? What he trying to do and how he trying to do it.
Yeah.
But then some parts of it was a little crazy. To me, anyway, my opinion was a little bit crazy about the generals and the admirals, man. You know, called when we say about walking in the they was fat and they was walking in the Pentagon, bro. I thought that was kind of crazy, bro. That part right there was kind of. I heard him say that. Yeah, that was a little crazy, man. But I mean, we gonna get into the memos, man. But overall, man, to me, some of the stuff that he was saying, some of the stuff we already doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of course, there's some stuff in there we gonna get into, but most of it, man, is stuff we kind of doing too. So,
I mean, hopefully we ain't putting hands on the recruits at Great Lakes, though, right?
Now I'm gonna tell you about that one too, bro. Like that whole comment. I'm gonna tell you. So
be careful, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful with this one, bro. I'm gonna tell you what I think though, man. Like about that situation, putting the hands on in all these programs though, man. Because when you think back, we could put hands on or whatever the case may be, bro. It's a lot of programs that's out there that they can put hands on. So we going back to what they call it, the SWIC programs and all them programs. Put like when I was coming in, they used to tell me, I was a SWIC instructor. First thing I think, oh shit, they beat the shit out you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking about, right? So I'm assuming all those programs going to go back to that shit too, right? But the recruiting hands on, bro. This is the only thing I'm gonna say to this, man, and I ain't gonna mess with it too tough. But I'm gonna say this: a lot of kids come in the Navy to leave their hometown to go visit and go see the world. If you telling these young kids they're gonna get hands put on them, man, I don't know if we're gonna get a whole lot of them in because, you know what I mean? Because if that's what we going to, right? If that's what we are saying, like, you know, hey, in boot camp, man, they gonna put hands on you in boot camp. That's a big deal especially when it comes from like me as a dad, I'm like, you know, whatever. But you talking about moms out there, man? Moms ain't finna let no hands get put on their kids, man. They gonna be thinking twice. They little daughters out there, man. You know, somebody gonna be push them down and shit out there, man. I don't know, man. What you think about that? Be careful, bro. What you think about it?
It was a lap in appropriations and, you know, lapse in appropriations and resources are limited, bro. No, I think that it was a time where people were okay with that. Like people used to send their kids to school, like Catholic school and stuff, and they hit you with about 12 rulers on your hand and all that.
Yeah,
it was a time where people be okay with sending their kids to boot camp and knowing that the military gonna straighten them out. You know what I mean? And straighten them out could be anything. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think RDCs should put their hands on recruits. I think we should probably find other ways to get people right. But also, I think whoever doesn't join because they don't want to, like, let's say it did get reverted back to like where you put your hands on people. You'll be filtering out people that can't handle that, you know, and keeping in the people that can, you know, and maybe these the kind of warriors that you want, you know, people that's okay getting hands put on them and shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, just do what you're supposed to do. It's mail call. Get that mail out, man. You know what I mean? Like, get that mail out, dog. You know,
you don't get that mail out, you might get that 2-piece, man. Get 2-piece special.
Waiting on you. Soon as you walk into the, you know, so, you know, it's a lot with that, but, you know, we'll try our best. Have a little bit of fun with some of that stuff. I think we passed some of that stuff, though, and I think some of that stuff is going into thinking about how we used to do things, but I think people are different, like, inherently, and I don't think we could change people again. You know, just generations change.
That's where it's at, Damo. Yeah, that's the key, man. And something, and yeah, I am. I'm gonna be very careful, very careful. But I'm gonna be honest with you. For military, everything, I'm just gonna say this. And a lot of the memos, I think one or two of the memos said the same thing, but he also said a couple times, 1990.
Yeah. Like, take it back, yeah.
Take it back to 1990. 1990? I came in 98, right? But 90? Bro, it was probably doing some wild shit in 1990, bro.
Yeah.
It was some things that was going down in 1990. Even with this, like, we even brung this up. I didn't even thought about it. Think about the initiation.
Yeah.
Back in 1990.
Yeah. I mean, like, people used to die, and I'm going back, but just progressively, right? So people used to die over the common cold some time ago, right? Like, just things are different. Like, people are different, period. Like, we built different. And I don't think us being built different is a bad thing. I think we got to try to find ways to tap into, like, how we are built now versus
Yeah.
Mad people working with their hands and all that. But we'll get into it because a lot of this stuff in those memos from SecDef that I really like. It's a lot of stuff I really like. And that's why I want to get into. I don't want to get too doom and gloom and let this be the pause point for the person that like, hey, look, they took like no, it's a lot of stuff we really like, y'all.
Yeah,
so,
a lot. Yeah, most definitely.
So the president, I'll start with the president's speech. The president said he built the military, and I didn't understand what he meant when he said that. Right? That was like one of the first things he said at the beginning of his speech. He said he built the military, and I didn't understand it. I'm not no shade, no diss. But if somebody understands what he meant by that, like if it's like code speak or something, let me know, because I didn't get what that meant when he said why is Siri trying to... I didn't get what that meant when he said he built the military. I was a little confused about that. That was the first part. The second thing was he spoke on the Gulf of America and the legal fight with the Associated Press. He talked a lot about the Gulf of America and what he went through with Associated Press. He talked about reawakening the warrior spirit. That was one of the things. President's speech was pretty scattered to me. It was a lot of things. It was all over the place. Let me say that. That's not a negative thing. It was all over the place, right? It was just a bunch of different points. And a lot of it was it was some shots at the last administration. It was some things about what he did. And it was some every now and then scattered stuff about the military or talking to the general. But he did say reawakening the warrior spirit. And he also said he wanted to make our military stronger, tougher, fiercer, faster, and more powerful than ever before, right? He had this joke, and it's the last thing I got. President Trump was like everything he was before he was a president, right? So he was an entertainer before he was a president too, right? So I can't lie. Like I find a lot of his speeches like real entertaining, man. Like, so he had this joke. You didn't watch, you said you didn't watch The President, right?
I watched some. I didn't watch all of it though.
So he got this joke about President Biden. And I can I finally tell the truth about how President Biden performed at that debate, man? Like, shit was horrible. Like that was the worst shit I ever saw. Like,
that's why he was no longer, you know what I mean, a candidate. It was
horrible. And I read a book about like how the Democrats and people behind the scenes responded to that moment. It wasn't good, bro. You know, but so back to President Trump, he was talking about, he had this, it was like a 3 to 5 minute like segment about this auto pen. And the auto pen, is supposed to be what President Biden was using when he signed the letter for people to be generals and admirals. Like this auto pen. And, you know, so President Trump was like, I'm not using an auto pen for an admiral or general. Like, y'all job is way too important. I need that. I need the nice paper. Like, this is really what he was saying in there to them. He was like, I need the nice paper. He was like, I need the gold ink. That real hard gold ink, man. I can't use no auto pen. So then he was like, President Biden, he was like, he didn't just use the auto pen for that. He was like, I found out he used the auto pen for everything he signed. He was like, the only thing he didn't use the auto pen for was when he pardoned Hunter Biden. And I
saw that part. Yeah,
I said, did Dave Chappelle write this for this dude? Like, this was incredible. You know what I'm saying? I said, this is crazy, man. Yeah. So I did watch his whole thing, but I didn't see SecDef's though.
Yeah. SecDef spoke pretty good though, man. Like this speaking wise and I know he probably had something he was looking at and reading a little bit of it, but I thought his speech was like him as a speaker. He was good, you know, as a speaker though.
He said beardos, man.
Beardos, yeah, man. No more beardos, man. No more beardos. Got 30, 60 days, man. Think about what you're gonna do in life.
Do you like that term, beardos,
bro? I don't like nothing like that, to tell you the truth, because it's almost like saying weirdos, and I know that's what we that's what I reference when you say beardos. I reference weirdos, so not sure I like it, but Yeah.
You sound like you like it, bro. You sound like you having a good time with it. So all right, so he said no more beardos, right? So let's get into it. I think beards is one of the last ones, but let's talk about the memos he sent out, right? Because we could talk about that, what happened in Quantico forever. It was a lot there, but let's get into these memos, bro. I think these memos is like really where like the meat and potatoes are. And like I said, I feel like it's some good stuff in here. So the first one is reduction of mandatory training, right? And let me get my claps ready for some of this stuff, man. Some of this stuff deserve applause, man. So reduction of mandatory training is definitely one that deserves applause, air horn, all that.
So go ahead, Damo.
No, what's up?
Probably out of all the memos, this is like my top two. Top two right here, baby. Top two.
Reduction of mandatory training requirements to restore mission focus. The Department of War is committed to enabling our warfighters to focus on their core mission of fighting and winning our nation's wars without distraction. Mandatory department training will be directly linked to warfighting, are otherwise consolidated, reduced in frequency, or eliminated. So then it's other stuff. Of course, we're not going to read the whole thing because at some point it was something somewhere that said don't read shit on social media. Podcasts ain't definitely necessarily all on social media, but I'm not reading whole things anymore. Plus, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So let's get to some of these trainings. So it says Chief Information Officer of the Department of War will narrowly tailor records management training to service member roles and allow flexibility in training delivery. So that's one of those CMTs that we were doing. Relax the mandatory frequency of cybersecurity. Let's go again, man.
Oh, man.
Let's go again, man. We are tired of that, man. Let's go, man.
Tired of it.
It says Undersecretary of War Undersecretary of War for Intelligence and Security will relax the mandatory frequency of controlled unclassified information training, DUI training. They do that training. We do that training all the time, and people still not doing the CUI right anyway. Like y'all still not doing it right anyway on those emails and with your attachments and all that stuff anyway. Let's go on and push that away for a little bit, right? The Assistant to the Secretary of War for Privacy, Civil Liberties, and Transparency will remove the Privacy Act training from CMT list. Yeah, that's another one, man. Like people just jumping on Twims, clicking through, 30 seconds, you got your cert, man. Just get rid of that frequency of having to do that, man. Let's do that every couple of years. Those things don't update every year, nothing like that. This one was a little damn, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. I guess I can't say confusing, but surprising, right? So it says eliminate mandatory frequency of combat and trafficking in persons. Refresher training after appropriate legislation is enacted. The reason why I said that, because a lot of the administration now, I think like trafficking and the border and illegal, I think a lot of that stuff is a lot of the conversation that a lot of the President Trump and the administration has. So I thought that the trafficking one was a little,
Well, to me, I'm reading that as eliminate the mandatory frequency. Like how many times we doing it, right? Not like eliminating it altogether, but how many
times we do it. But I mean, I feel like we could annually update information about trafficking in persons. Like trafficking to me is a major issue in America or maybe the whole world, but most likely the whole world. And I don't think enough people talk about it. And I don't think people got really good information on it, especially if they just clicking through the thing. That's just my opinion, though.
No doubt. I just think they probably just couldn't pick and choose. Like they're eliminating or they are the frequency of them all. I think they just went down and say, you know what, we just gonna go through all of them and eliminate. Well, I didn't say eliminate, but the mandatories and how how the frequency. Most of this, all it is though, is how the frequency of how many we are doing a year, every 2 years or whatever. I think that's really what we're looking at on these on this memo anyway.
Yeah, and I really want to note before we go further, I really want to note that a lot of these were given like a 60-day advance for the respective secretaries of the different military branches to take it and move with it however which we may. So you got to take these, not necessarily with a grain of salt, but take these as foundational to whatever it is that we're going to do from our branch. So you got to kind of think about that first. And that's it. I'm not going to get, like, you could read the rest of it if you want. It's a little bit more about CMT consolidation and stuff like that. You could read the rest of it. I don't know if anything else in that one stood out to you, Damon.
Nope. That was it, man. I'm excited about that one though. No doubt about that, man. And all the rest of the ones that I probably haven't done yet, I'm not gonna do it to 60 days, bro.
Yeah, you gonna wait.
I'm not. If I haven't done it, I'm not doing it until I find out what's going on. I'm taking this shit right now.
Let's see what they say about this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how people be with the beard. Yo, we gonna wait. We gonna get in the beard in a minute. What about this EEO one, man?
Oh man, let me see. I got them all pulled up here, man. Give me a second. Let me pull this thing up, man. Let me see.
Okay. Implementation of military equal opportunity and equal employment opportunity reform plan.
Yeah. So the one, I kind of looked at the one that was more about, us, the military, right? They got another one in there about employment, right? But for us though, so Damo, and I know you probably like, this is your bread. Look, I ain't gonna say your bread and butter, but I know you know a lot about this. But I will say this though, Damo, I like the fact that some of these memos with the time, right? Like I think the timing of everything is what really matters into these memos. Like let's get to it. All this stuff that takes a year, 2 years, having people careers on hold. And things like that. I think that's where these come in for importance. So it talked about the reforms, right? So I'm gonna read a little bit of this, Demo.
Yeah.
Complaints are promptly within 30 days addresses the dismissed if they lack actionable, credible evidence, right? So that goes back, I think, putting a little bit more ownership on the command. Hey, look into this. If it doesn't make sense. What do you think about that portion of it, Damo? Because everybody got their own, how they grew up, their own values, their own thought process, and all this stuff. And it looked like this 30 days, you putting it back on the chain of command, pretty much saying, "Hey, do you got any evidence for this?" What do you think about that?
I have a hard time with it, right? And this don't got nothing to do with SecDef or the Department of Defense or Department of War or whatever. I have a hard time with any time where we dismissing EO complaints because they lack evidence. I like the whole EO complaint thing in that regard is tricky to me anyway, because there are people that lie, right? So you got people that lie. But then you also got people that tell the truth. A lot of these incidents or a lot of these things that could happen, a lot of these things might just happen in a quiet room or a solitary place where it's just two people. So when I got to the ship, the ship that me and you were on, somebody said the captain had said something to them and it was like racist. They said the captain had said something to them and it was a racist thing and they felt like slighted and, they came talk to me because I was a Semio. And that was a case that they were complaining about, I think, from before I got to the command, but it didn't have actionable or credible evidence. Now, if they were lying, rightfully so, right? Let's say nothing. I don't know what happened because I wasn't in Semio at the time. But if they were lying, then rightfully so. But if they were telling the truth, then what? And that's kind of like my thing with some of these things. It's like a lot of especially like sexual harassment, sometimes sexual assault, some of these things don't have credible evidence.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
How do you handle that stuff? They don't have credible evidence. You still go, like, I think that's the whole point though, right? The whole point, if it don't have credible evidence, let's not, go down this rabbit hole, right?
I mean, the dude that allegedly killed Angelina Resendez, like his case didn't have credible evidence, and then he allegedly killed Angelina Resendez.
Good point.
Came off a bunch of shit without credible evidence. So a lot of people come off shit without. Jeffrey Dahmer was, held up before and shit could have happened with him, or like some of these other serial killers shit don't. And I'm going extreme, but it's cases where it ain't no credible evidence. Like I would be interested to know what credible evidence is in these kinds of cases.
Yeah.
Like what could it be?
Yeah. I think something else that was important on this memo too. Well, a lot of things was important, but this one right here too, because I have seen this go in a different direction. When he says favorable personnel actions such as awards, promotions, and retirements involving alleged offenders are only withheld where a preliminary or subsequent investigation indicates that the complaint is likely to be substantiated, right? To me, I think they're saying, like, I have seen, and you probably have too, Damo, like, if they're involved with anything, we're going to withhold their whatever, promotion or awards or whatever the case may be, and then they end up being cleared or whatever the case may be. So I think that's a change, right?
What you think about that? Like, because I have an opinion about that now. What you think about that?
I tell you this, Damo. I had to make a decision on one of these before, right?
Yeah, me too.
And of course, the decision I made came out being the right decision, but I didn't know at the time. Yeah. I didn't know at the time it was going to be the right decision. Well, lucky for me, I don't have to think about this later on. Like, damn, I fucked that up because it was the right decision. It happened, but I didn't know though.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was. We just got a case. And I got, oh shit. You know what I mean? But of course, as leaders, we got to make decisions too, though, but it was one of those things, man. But what I think about it, Damo, is people do lie, man. Right? I would like to get to the bottom of something before I make a decision on it. Now, the problem I have with that is sometimes you don't have the time. You know what I mean? You don't have the time. So I think people need to be held accountable for that. If this sailor is the best sailor right now, and we don't know right now, this sailor is it is what it is, right? We got to go by what's in front of us. We got to go by what this sailor right here on paper and what you put in front of me is the best case to be promoted, the best case to get this award. So we're going to give it to him. And then if it's not, then if it comes out saying it was this, we hold him accountable for that then. Yeah. What do you think?
Hey, I agree. Maybe if Aaron was here, he would disagree. I agree with what you just said. Like, let's make it easy. Because it's like awards, promotions, and retirements. Maybe you can't stop a retirement, but awards and promotions, maybe let's just make it easier to strip people of it. Like, they took Bill Cosby's fake degrees or whatever. Like, let's just make it easier to take things away. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody got something and they got it, they, because we also this military that like to say that we like to say that we got you after you get in trouble or something happened to you, your career is redeemable, your reputation is redeemable and all this. But then it's like, all right, we taking away stuff, which I get it in some cases, but all right, let's make it easy to just strip you of something we gave. I was in a situation like that too, where somebody was like, had a case pending, but they was also like to sell at a quarter or a year nominee. And the case wasn't over. And it was like, and there was a couple other people that was in the same boat because it was like one of those cases with more than one person involved. But some people had went through the thing and was cleared. And it's just a whole weird thing. Like, just give it to the person, in my opinion, and people see it different ways. My opinion is give it to the person and take it away. Take it away if it's proven that the person did what they did. So the other one says those who knowingly submit false complaints and repeatedly submit frivolous complaints are held accountable pursuant to applicable laws and regulations. So on the surface, I agree with that. Like the surface, I totally agree with that. The thing is, just like the other side of the coin where offenders some offenders do shit and get in trouble, and then some people are accused of things as offenders and they didn't do anything and they get in trouble too. So it's unbalanced there. I think, and it's tricky either way. But I think you could do this here with somebody and say they did a false complaint and they really didn't. And I think the people that do false complaints just make it. The people that do false complaints, I think they make it worse on everybody. Honestly,
yeah. They do. No doubt about that. And I do think they'd be held accountable, but you're right though, man. That's going another whole tricky point, to this whole thing too, man. Cause people, I never thought about it for a long time. And I'm that person that used to think like, why would someone make up this whole story? Right? I used to say too, where's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? But it's people out there that does that shit, that do that shit.
Yeah.
Make up stories. So you're right. It's just bad business. Make it harder for the whole program. The whole program itself. Some people who make up shit to get at somebody, being in some type of romantic relationship and got hurt and got, whatever the case may be. So let me make this shit up or whatever. It happens.
Yeah. And sometimes it happens after real cases, right? So on my first ship, it was a real sexual assault case. And then the seller that was assaulted was flown off the ship, stuff like that. And then you started to get some other pop cases, some pop-up cases. And one of them wasn't real, But then now there's this other part of it where some people are waiting to report things until they feel like they can. So they might see somebody report something and be like, damn, this person got helped. So, all right, we have a culture where we want to help people. So I'm going to go report mine. So sometimes it's people cherry picking, but then sometimes it's people that's really some shit happened to, but they just wasn't mentally ready to report or emotionally ready. It's just, this here is the most complicated thing ever to me. And I don't know how you could put some of this stuff in black and white. So whoever put this stuff together, for me, it's a difficult task. I don't know how you put this shit in black and white, bro.
Yeah, it's I know I would say good luck. You know what I mean? Don't put it together. Yeah.
Somebody's gonna hurt on one end of the stick. It's going to be somebody that's falsely accused. Now it's written leveraging. It seems to be for some people that might read it is leveraging the offender now a little bit. So people that might read it would read it to be like, damn, nah, it's leveraging the offender. I think it's written to be a little bit more fair to when people make false accusations. But this is also going to discourage some people that's afraid to make reports.
Yes.
Anyway, a little bit. So it's a tough one.
You're 100% Damo. That's the first thing when I was reading, I was thinking about was that it's going to the reports to me is not they all important. Somebody make a report is important as hell. But now instead of me being like, okay, what the fuck? Now I'm be like, okay, let's make sure this is, the correct. Make sure the evidence is instead of, it makes me I don't know if it's making us think a little bit more about the offender, the person who's offended. It's something to that too, though. It's making me think a little bit more are they telling the truth? You know what I mean? The victim is I'm questioning now the victim more than I probably would before. You know what I mean? The credibility of it or whatever. So I agree with that. But that's one thing in this whole memo. But I really got two things done with the 7 business days.
Yeah.
Right? The 7 business days was one thing. And the other thing about it, I really will love when it comes out to define credible evidence.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be very important in this memo to get those two things knocked out and make sure we understand that, especially with the credible evidence thing.
Yeah, there's some stuff in here championing informal resolution systems and complaints that lack sufficient merit to trigger investigation will systematically be dismissed under new threshold criteria. So it looks like it's going to be a threshold that kind of gives what makes something sufficient or what makes something credible. So it looks like it's a threshold that's going to come out too. I don't know how some of our listeners, our followers, whatever, like think we could pull some comedy out of some of this shit. Like this is to me intense because it's so middle of the board when it comes to like complaints and people that's complainants, accusers, or whatever we say against offenders. You know, our victims against suspects or whatever. Like this is not an easy line. It's just not.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, it's a bunch of timelines. Y'all just read it. It's a lot here. It's a longer one. So just read it. And let's move on. I'm start this one, Damon. I'm gonna tackle some of the black and white on this one. It's military fitness standards. So it says, as I stated in my initial message to the force, our standards will be high, uncompromising, and clear. Right. So the goal is unmistakable. Our core fighting formations must not just meet the standard; they must embody it. Right. So fitness testing requirements. Active component service members will execute 2 fitness tests annually, right? I knew this a while ago, y'all. I was hinting at it. I couldn't talk about it. I was hinting at it, but here it is, right? So 2 fitness tests annually. One will be the existing service fitness test. So whatever it is you do already, that's what you're going to do. The second will be a combat field test only for combat arms personnel. And then it's an attached list to tell you who they are.
Yep.
But then it says combat readiness test for non-combat arms personnel are the service fitness test. So you either do your active component service, you either do your Navy, for the Navy listeners, right? You're either going to do the Navy PFA again, or you're going to do the combat readiness test. I think Navy will probably just pick the Navy test again instead of the 3-mile run, right? And it says service members will perform physical fitness training every duty day. And I think in this case, duty day is the day you go to work. I don't think duty day is like your rotation, like you on 13 sections or 7 sections. It's just whatever day you go to work. So Monday through Friday.
That one of my things that it has to be defined too. When he says duty day, he was throwing me off because now does that mean we PT in 5 days a week?
Yes.
That's what it sounds to me. 5 days a week, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's 5 days a week. It ain't duty day. I mean, I don't like, maybe it's a language that Navy don't speak or something, but it's like, you know, I got my own thoughts just about language, but it is what it is. It's every day, which I like. I'm not mad at that at all.
No, I'm not mad at it at all. But I tell you what, it's certain. I think the only issues I got is like different communities, right? Do different things. Like, does that mean we got to do it during working hours or not doing it? If you're just telling me just to work out for that day, I'm 100%. But when you start knocking those into those working hours and you talking about pilots and flying, and these guys fly all the time, right?
Yeah,
I think communities and stuff like that gonna have to be flexible and all that stuff on how we're gonna do it. But I'm most definitely all about PTing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about that.
I think, and this might be a hot take, but you know, here we are, right? I think military people should work out every day. And I think it should be a part of our working hours. I think we do. I think for what our mission set is and what we supposed to do, I think we do way too much frivolous bullshit work every single day, Monday through Friday, that like we should not be prioritizing anything over physical fitness, right? It should not be cooked into our culture to not work out. Like it's like no place at all that we need to be doing that. Like, and I mean, that's a full-fledged, so that's a surface comment that I made because a lot of other things kind of come with it. Some of that stuff the CNO been putting out about better shipbuilding and, you know, and stuff like that. Because then that stuff trickle down to like not having to do all this last minute maintenance because you got to get this piece of equipment up so you get underway and like all that. But I just think we I'ma always think this. I think we over prioritize everything. The command I'm at now. You know, people, and I told them, like I tell everybody, I'm going to get us out of here. At some point, I'm going to find a way to get us out of here earlier. Hey, people leaving work 1700, like, or later. You know what I mean? Like, yo, what are we? what's going on here? You know what I mean? So, this ain't a ship that's going through NSERV, and even that, like, why are we not finding ways to? I could go deeper in it, but just on surface, we need to be working out every day, and we over prioritize every single. I think, bro, what don't we over prioritize? Training and PT. They the two things we don't over prioritize, bro.
Well, you hit it on the head there, Damo. I'm 100% with you, but I will say this, just for argument's sake. Mm-hmm. I was a CFL, right? Once upon a time, and we try to do things, doing on the working hours and stuff like that. And it was difficult. It was difficult to get everybody out there and things like that. But it goes back to what you just said, though. Prioritizing, man. Yeah. Like, we prioritize other things why we couldn't do it during those hours. And I done said this multiple times, man. If you don't schedule, it ain't gonna happen. Yeah. You put that shit in the schedule, just make it fucking happen. Yeah. Right? That's it. And I actually put that out to my mess too, man. Like, I said those words, if you don't schedule it, it's not gonna happen. We always can bite back. We always can push back. You know what I'm saying? We always got something to do. It's something always gonna be there. Regardless, it's going to be there. So it's about prioritizing, man, and making things happen.
Yeah, don't schedule nothing during the command PT block, and don't make somebody feel bad about PTing. Like everybody should be there. So don't make somebody feel bad about what they owe you PTing. And that might sound perfect worldish, and somebody get me up about whatever. I'm willing to come on a podcast. Like, come talk about it. Like, we should PT every day during fucking working hours. 7 to 9. 7 to 9. Let's go. Let's get up at 7. Let's get it until 8:30 or whatever, and then go to work. Most people start working at 9 anyway. And I don't think it's 8 hours. I don't know, man. But ain't nobody really doing like 8 hours worth of work. Anyway, like, ain't nobody, this not a factory where you pressing a thing into a box and then it's going down a conveyor belt. Like, you going off, you going to smoke, you going to eat, you chilling, you looking at the boards for a little bit. Like, it's not 8 hours. Y'all can tell me whatever you want to tell me.
Yeah.
And I love y'all. I'm a positive guy. Like, right now, reading these, I'm a little dark manish, but I'm a positive dude. But y'all gonna stop playing like that with me, man. It says each military department will verify, validate its combat field test within 60 days and submit an execution plan for National Guard. I'm not worried about that. Let's go to the Matrix. So the Matrix, the service fitness test, combat. Let's go non-combat on. We're gonna talk non-combat on. It's a sex normed, age normed, and then the combat field test. We talking non-combat arms. Shout out to all our combat arms personnel that listen to the pod. We don't want no smoke with you. Combat readiness tests required, but may be substituted with the service fitness test. Must be executable in any environment at any time with combat equipment as appropriate. Right. So, boom, there it is. 2 tests a year. Cool. No worries. Here, 60 days to figure it out what the plan is, and it looked like we'll be October, November, December. So it looked like by January, these things would be rolling out.
Yeah.
And then it looks like it's going to be some differences with height and weight circumference method. Each military department will be aligned with that to promote consistency and fairness across the joint force. Totally understandable. If I was to think about how that would happen, I don't think the Marines are going to reduce their standards. So I almost think everybody going to have to go to the Marine standard. That's my assumption, and I could be wrong. But I don't think the Marines going to reduce their fucking standards. And even if the Marines do say, all right, we do like y'all, they still not going. Secretly, they ain't reducing their fucking standards. So.
Yeah, I agree.
And then leaders should enforce it. We ain't got to read too much about that. Leaders should be enforcing it. And that's where we go with talking about compliance, right? Like, they talk about putting on fit reps, evals, and individual physical training requirements are documented and visible to each service member. Regular evaluations of the electronic records are conducted to assess compliance. Leaders at all levels are expected and empowered to enforce standards consistently. Standards left unenforced are not truly standards. And another thing with that is like this, like leaders should be there too. right? Leaders should be there too.
Man. Gotta be, man.
Yeah. Fitness should be regarded with the same seriousness as professional military education. Yeah, but we need to work on professional military education too. If we want fitness regarded with the same seriousness as professional military education right now, and the bar to me is low.
Yeah.
Hate to sound doom and gloom, but it is what it is in some of this. So let's get it all. I don't want to say that. I'll say let's get it all up. But Aaron ain't here. But let's work on all that stuff, man. So what's this? Tell me this. It's this other one, Damon. This War Military Education, Department of War Military Education and Training Standards 60-day review. Do we need to go through this?
No. No, we're not gonna go through that one, man. I'm gonna hit this one. Damn, I fucking lost it. Let me see. Oh, not that one. The hazing.
Well, we like for 1 second. Let's do it 1 second.
Okay.
The curriculum. So, real quick, to prepare for large-scale combat operations and rapidly changing global landscape, Department of War requires a renewed focus on accountability, meritocracy, rigorous standards in the military education and training programs that forge leaders with the character, skills, and knowledge essential for maintaining our military's dominance. Comprehensive 60-day education system curricula and training school standards review, including all military service academies, military educational institutions, and military training schools. I think they all need this. I think this is very important. One of the most important things here. Like some of these schools and some of the yellow tape and some of the processes by which we update the material and all of that stuff is really bad. So we definitely need to work on that. So let's do it. It says this one of the 1990 things you talked about too, where it says report any changes to program standards since 1990 and make recommendations on whether to restore any standards that have been lowered since that. I wonder and somebody tell me the significance of 1990. Like what made that so great? You know what I'm saying? But so that's very important. Let's get better schools. We need them. So let's do it. Hazing, bullying, and harassment, Damon. That's where we are.
Yeah, hazy, bullying, and harassment. So, department policy defining conduct by service members that constitutes hazing, bullying, and harassment is overly broad, jeopardizing combat readiness, mission accomplishment, and trust in the organization. To maintain a lethal and ready force, leaders must be empowered to make a right decision, enforce standards, and restore good order and discipline. However, definition that are overly broad hinder leaders' ability to effectively execute the mission. So it seemed like to me with this one, man, is that we're going to come up in how many days we said? 30 days. 30 day. It says 30 days, personnel conduct a 30-day review of the department definition of these behaviors. So that's what this one about. It's about all the departments doing a big time review. They're finding hazing, bullying, harassment. I think so commanders can make a better decision, a quicker decision on these two topics, which is hazing, bullying, and harassment. What do you think?
I think this is another one. I don't like this, and then again, this don't got nothing to do with Secretary of War or the War Department. That I don't like it. I don't like it on the side of the leaders. Like, hey, man. And so the second part is talking about undue administrative burdens that distract from the core mission. I hear that, but I'm not a big fan of a fearful leader, like somebody that's afraid to lead because they think that, they're going to be accused of something. Like I haven't seen too many of these hazing, bullying, harassment cases. And I know that they exist. So anybody that's listening, like, no, that's bullshit. I know yours happened. Like if you listen, and I know it happened to you, bro. Our sis or whatever. I'm not talking about you. In my career, I haven't seen too many of these happen. To say that it's an epidemic of them, that we need to redefine the words. I think leaders just need to do the right thing and understand that every now and then somebody might not like that right thing you did, and they might try to file some paperwork on you. And then when they try to file the paperwork on you, it don't come back as anything substantial because you did the right thing. You made the right decisions, whatever like that. So now, sometimes these things can be weaponized, and like people get scared. I remember like we talked about it before. I remember somebody told me to apologize to somebody. I ain't apologize. I was a first class. I'm not apologizing. I ain't do nothing wrong. I'm not apologizing.
Yeah.
So, but I think sometimes those hassles come with just not the system. It come with people's perception and how people translate things, like other leaders. You know, I don't think, file the paperwork. Put me under investigation. Like, I don't need to do what you say to do. Put me under the investigation and let's figure out what I did, if it was the wrong intentions, if it was wrong. If I was wrong and I didn't have the wrong intentions, then teach me the lesson. You know, if I was wrong, I'm not out here, bro. I have not made a decision in the last, probably since I was a first class on some bullshit, but I've not made a decision in years with like and even maybe not even first class, but like with any kind of like malice in my brain, bro. Like, so if I did do something wrong, it was probably out of ignorance, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not out here just doing the wrong shit. Go ahead and put me under investigation. That's how I look at it. Like, man, you put me under investigation, bro. Like, if I'm stupid, I'm stupid. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm off about that, and some of the OGs or some of the more tenured people could come tell me something different. But I didn't think this was a problem, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think not a problem for me either. I do think bias plays a part in some of these, you know. So I have no problem with somebody coming in from the outside saying, okay, do the investigation if it needs to have an investigation. I think what this memo is trying to do is it's trying to eliminate, I think it's trying to eliminate, like, is this really something? Right? Make a decision right now, you know, instead of investigating it. And also, I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier about, you know, the suspect. You know what I mean? Like, did they really do anything? Was it really hazing? Because they put hands on somebody or whatever? Like, was it really this? What I think it's really want to define, I guess, trying to define the program a little bit more so it ain't no gray area. But man, if you've been in what we've been in, it like ain't that much gray area.
Yeah, I mean, I Google, it said, on Google, I'm Google, y'all. So this AI Google, you know, boom. It says the U.S. Navy defines hazing as any conduct where a service member without proper authority causes another service member to suffer or be exposed to any activity that is cruel, abusive, humiliating, oppressive, demeaning, or harmful. That's the definition of hazing. Yeah. So we're going to find a way to redefine that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we going to look into it and see if it's substantial or whatever? I know some people call the chief initiation hazing, but that shit ain't hazing. It's not hazing. Like, you could cut through that. Now, maybe some other, like, on a broad scope, it's not hazing. Maybe some mess somewhere else hazed people in some weird way and did something that they're not supposed to do, and they should be held accountable. But you could cut through that. Like, bring somebody in to investigate it and see if it's hazing. Like, but some people just do that out of facetiousness. Like, oh yeah, they hazing. It's a big hazing. But shit used to be hazing like real bad. But
in 1990
nowadays. Yeah, in 1990. Oh man, that was modern workforce management. This about civilian workforce and them getting more money and stuff, right?
Yes. Want to let me see.
And firing people that ain't doing shit, like making it easier to fire people. Yeah. I like that. It's a lot of people out there getting these checks. Y'all shouldn't be getting them checks.
100. Yeah. And that's just facts. I mean, this is not even a political thing or anything. It's people out there coming to work ain't doing a damn thing. It's just facts. And I know, and I worked with civilians before. Say what you want. I see what you do.
Yeah. Facts. I'm grumpy. I guess I'm grumpy man on these topics. I'm
with you though. I'm with you on that one, bro. I'm with you.
It says IG oversight and reform, enhancing timelines, transparency, and due process in administrative investigation. This, to me, the IG one and the EO one is enhancing timelines and going after non-credit, dismissing non-credible complaints and going after people that keep making the same false complaint. Like, all of that stuff is kind of wrapped into the same thing to me. Yeah. And I got the same exact opinions about this one as I got about the EO one.
Yeah. I just want to add to this one, when we throw the 7-day thing out there and all these numbers and stuff, does that mean we throwing more people at it also? You know what I mean? To make sure we get this done. Because a lot of times, man, the IG stuff, it takes time sometimes to get to the bottom of some of this stuff. So now are we going to miss something, right? Are we going to miss something because we are trying to have it so rapidly done? Now, I don't agree with something lasting a year or two. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that. But if we put these numbers on something, are we going to miss something? That's my only kind of. Now I'm about it too, though, because people got careers and people got lives. They trying to get this stuff behind them. They got to move on. Somebody can be making false, whatever. I got it. Let's move on. Yeah. But I just don't want to miss nothing, because we trying to meet a timeline.
Yeah, the timeline thing, man. To be a little transparent, in my command suite, had to tell a sailor that day was getting out of the Navy, and it was some shit they did a year and a half ago.
That's crazy.
And I don't even know if they were at the command when they did it, but they came to the command and they, because I talked to them a little after, because, mind you, I'm just meeting them and telling them like, hey, being a part of the conversation. But when I talked to him after, the way he talked sounded like he wasn't even at our command, but came to the command and ran probably the most critical shop at the command, ran it as an E5. And now got to hear that it's a chance, not confirmed, but it's a chance that your career is over. Now, mind you, Seller did something that I don't have any idea of and, maybe is warranted, but the process by which is horrible for somebody to have to wait a year and a half to get something solidified or nobody to be a Seller made rank and all, got promoted and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I'm thinking I talked to him. He's like, man, I'm thinking it's all good, and then boom, here's this conversation. And that's just crazy. And we've seen that even with the Pueblo thing and people waiting to be medically retired and stuff like that. It's why? But like you said, what's up? No, what's up?
I want to say something else to that, man. A timeline thing, man. And not necessarily timeline, but something that makes sense, right? I think sometimes we do a bad job at this, right? For example, I'm gonna say I had a sailor that popped on urinalysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the sailor been on this drug his entire life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the piss test didn't write it in there, right? Didn't write it. So it comes back, popped on the piss test, and then Big Navy says, separate this sailor. Okay, we send out the thing. We say, okay, we don't want to do this because, sailor's been on this medication, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it seemed like it should have been that easy. You know how this stuff is 6 months, 7 months. And then we get a report back saying, separate this sailor. What?
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
That's crazy to me, bro.
Crazy.
Right? And now, of course, I think the sailor ended up being good. He kept fighting it and had another thing they could do 10 days or whatever, and they fighting it or whatever. But just a thought process of that, man, that's too easy to me. It's too easy. If I come back and my captain or whoever comes back and say this sailor been on this and medical say this sailor been on this, that should be it.
Yeah.
Done. But it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just want to be clear, y'all. I know I sound doom and gloom, probably because I got to go to the bathroom or I ain't work out yet or something. But I just wanted to, I love it. I love my career. I love the Navy. But like I said, we reading these and some of these things do need to change. And it's a lot of stuff that we could do different and better. So just the attempt at trying to pull some things that we could do different and better. I like it's somebody, like I said, we've went through more of these that I liked and I didn't like so far.
Yeah.
But some of this is just, we need to do better at. It don't matter how many time people change a program. The people that's upholding these programs need to do better. Policy memorandum revision. I'm not even getting. That's the rescinding something that got put out about special selection review boards. I'm not getting into that. I think that I'm assuming that's the thing that got to do with that thing that President Biden did that they didn't like. We get this whole special selection thing. We get out of that. I'm not worried about that. Formally presenting Purple Heart medals and valid decorations. I don't know if there's anything I should be mad at here, but I'm not mad at nothing here.
Yeah.
You know, let's formally present the Purple Heart to people.
Yeah.
You know, that's easy day. Easy fucking day. Adverse information policy. What is this?
Adverse.
Yeah. Upholding the highest standards, the current adverse information policy has too often resulted in unproven allegations being considered adverse information. Cumulative penalties for a single event, cumulative penalties for a single event is something that we've seen sometime where like somebody take a hit on a eval and they lose a award and then they lose this, that. So I see that. Like somebody should be, if we're going to hold somebody accountable administratively, then we need to hold them accountable administratively one time.
Yeah.
And however that is that we do it is how it is that we do it. In my opinion, it shouldn't trickle into a million different other things. Yeah. Like, oh, well, this person 3 years ago, one of my sellers, when we were on the Villa Golf together, he was capped. I guess at the time, I think it was still called capped. Maybe it was mapped already. But he was all but capped. And the CO alone, I know it, somebody told me, the CO alone stroked the pen and not the CO that we rock with, or the CO, that other CO we rock with. You know, so before you start thinking it's you know if it's not you or not. You know what I mean? But the skipper said it, no. You know? Skipper said no. It was the skipper's decision. And the seller had already, I think, had lost rank already, had like this, I'm talking about, I'm not like shying. I'm talking about Garcia, Damon. Like Garcia, we did like package was amazing. He deserved it. Garcia deserved it. Like, but he did some shit 2 years ago that he was still being held accountable for 2 years later.
That was crazy.
Yeah, you remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
You know how hard it is to. I mean, it's all love. So I come from a place of love. So it's not as hard as I'm saying, but it's hard to talk to a seller that know they deserve that shit. And then when you find out, like down the grapevine, like, damn, like your guy made it through all of these joints. And then the captain alone was like, nah, not him because of some shit. And I think shit like that come when CMCs just be like super frustrated with the like, yo, man, like, I'm just tired of this.
2 years.
You know, but
years.
Yeah. So he was still being held accountable. So, and he told me, and this is the hardest part for me as a leader, because when I first got there, he told me, yeah, I did something, boom. And even what he did, it was self-defense. I don't want to get in, but like, he like, yeah, I did something, bang. And I still got a black eye or a stain for it. That's what he told me. And I told him like, yo, it is a meritocracy and work hard and you going to get what you deserve and boom. Yep. And I don't know if I sound butthurt or not. You could tell me if I do, Damon. And he deserved what he was supposed to get. He worked, he earned it. He was humble and boom. And he did not get it because he was still being held accountable to some shit he did 2 years ago. Yeah. And then I had to talk to him again. I'm the guy that talked to him before and told him, hold it together. That mistake doesn't define you. And it did in a way to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard to lead like that too, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard to lead like that because that's one of mine, in my personal opinion, that's one of my trademarks, man. Get back up. Shake it off. You know what I mean? Get back on the horse and ride, man. Do the things you know you can do. Work hard, you know, and you can get over it. Because it happened to me. I went to Captain Maz and I came back from something, you know what I mean? Because I got back on it. I started working hard and I started doing the things I need to do. And it worked out for me. So when you a leader out there and you tell this sailor this, right? And then it doesn't work out, that make leadership so freaking hard, bro. So hard. Because you know, not only you know, Damo, everybody knows that sailor should have been mapped or capped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it doesn't happen. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And for the CEOs that listen, yo, hit us up on this one because I've seen this quite a few times. This ain't the first time, bro. I seen like with a seller that was under investigation or in trouble. And I'm not, and for the CEOs, I'm not challenging. I just want some thoughts from you all, like some more insight. So the seller was helping, like, command not a lot of volunteers to do something. So this seller was actually helping to do something. It was an event. I don't want to get too deep into specifics, but the seller was helping to do an event. The skipper was not happy that this seller was putting together this event because this seller was in trouble for something else. It's like, do we want, like, are we, again, I'm not no shade, but do we want to ice this seller out right now because this seller's in trouble so they can't volunteer to do other things? And I know y'all got y'all science and how y'all think about things and break stuff down, and we thinking about the perception of how other people see things and, stuff like that. But I'm interested in full, like, fleshed out thoughts on this. Like, am I putting this seller on the sidelines right now until 6 months later, or, and that's a whole different thought than just compound punishments for one. That's a different thought. Compound punishments for one thing is one thought, and I don't like that. And then, like, what are we doing with the seller? You've seen sometime where a seller get in trouble and then they was like a front-facing seller. So they, like, for instance, they might have been like on the JEA. And when I was on Villa Golf, it was a situation where a seller did something. A seller had did something, and it was a semio thing, and the semio thing actions were taken, and then it was like, hey, this seller need to be removed from every collateral they had, and I'm like, why? What's the purpose of the resolution system that we had if now we got to remove this seller from everything that they do that's front facing? I don't personally agree. I'm compliant if my skipper, like, be like, no, do it, CMC, but I don't, and I'll give the reasons why. And I think as I'm getting older as a CMC, even though I'm not that old as CMC yet, but as I'm getting older in the SEL, I think I could present that a little better to COs, but I'm interested in that, Damon.
Yeah, we are interested in that. But another thing too, man, is like, you COs, you guys get paid for the big bucks to make decisions. We understand that. But at the same time, though, I think that sailors have to have the ability to rebound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a good point to make at the command where they see a sailor rebound.
Yes.
They see a sailor can make mistakes, and that's what we learn from. The sailor learned from that mistake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to see. Like, we want sailors to take risk, right? Like take risk. If you make a mistake, you get held accountable for that mistake, and we move on, right? But the biggest thing, Damo, with that, with situations like that, is sailors see it. Like, man, this happened to this sailor. He rebound. He just got mapped now to this next rank.
Yeah.
Man, that's a story right there. Now that sailor will be able to tell all these young sailors, yeah, I made a mistake and look where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I'm doing right now, right? Not taking it personal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is not a personal thing, man. It's not personal.
And right? Some people going to hate. Newsflash, they the same people that was going to hate either way it would have went. And that was what my seller pretty much told me about social media. He was like, when we wasn't posting content like this, they said to post content. Now we posting content like this and they got something to hate about. Some people it always be haters. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Hated dudes marry hated girls and have hated kids. That's what Kanye said. So it is what it is. All right, let's get into the one that shouldn't be the one, but it is the one.
The one. Last
grooming
one too,
standards.
Right?
Yeah, that's the last one. Grooming standards for facial hair implementation. If you're anything like me, you had to take it all off anyway. You know what I mean? So here we go talk about CBR again, which I don't have to read this. I really don't. I'm not too concerned about the whole CBR justification. There's some people that think that that's been. I've heard that the CBR justification has been challenged and overturned. And then I've also heard that it hasn't been. Like, no, it's still a CBR threat. You still need to be clean shaven for those things to work. So I've heard on both sides of the fence. You've been on a side of the fence. I don't know if you got any inside intel that I don't have, but I heard both.
Yeah. I don't. I thought I had some insight. I thought I had the answers, but then every time I think I got the answer, somebody either renege on the question or the answer, or talk sideways about it or whatever. But at the same time, man, I'm gonna go on an assumption that before this memo came out, somebody did some research on this. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm assuming though, but I don't know, man. But I do know, even when I was on the ship. The last ship I was on, man, these guys had beards and stuff, and they couldn't get respirator. They get in the SCBAs, every day because they're damage control, man. But then they can't go check out a respirator because they got facial hair.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know, but whatever. Yeah.
So special forces can have beards, right? That's like in accordance with this, the only people that can have beards really. Special operations forces may request modified standards via validated mission essential requirements. However, personnel will be clean shaven when deployed to environments with a high threat of CBRN, right? So we talk about sideburns, beards, goatees, facial hair, mustaches authorized but neatly trimmed, not extended past mouth corners or into a respirator seal zone. All applicants, including reentry candidates, must meet grooming standards prior to entry. If you're unable to comply, you'll be deferred from a session until standards are met. Medical accommodations. The department will revert to pre-2020 standards. Only temporary profiles for medical conditions such as PFB will be considered. All requests require individualized review for operational impact. Approved profiles will be limited to 12 months and must include a treatment plan. Permanent conditions will result in evaluation for administrative separation. Now, people read this different, Damon. I don't know if you've seen it, but this was read two ways. So this was read from some people as in, hey, if you have a no shave profile, you got 12 months left and then you have to shave or you getting out the Navy. Some other people read this like, hey, if you get a no shave profile, it's for a period of 12 months and then you could get another no shave profile for another period of 12 months. How did you read this?
I read this as 12 months and you're 12 months treatment and you're out. Like like 12 months, meaning like, so your approved profile would limit it to 12 months and must include a treatment plan.
Yeah.
Right. Permanent conditions will result in reevaluation for administrative separation. Bro, I don't know how other way you can read that. To me, I'm reading it as you got 12 months.
Yeah. People definitely read it.
Yeah. This, and I just want to throw something out there, man. Like we read this, we know it's coming. We heard what Secretary of War said about it. No more beardos, right? So we know this coming. What I will say to every sailor that's out there with a beard, I want to say this, man. Get ahead of this, right? Find something that works for you if you want to stay Navy or you want to stay military or whatever. Get ahead of this. Because it's coming down. Ain't no need to trying to push back. Ain't no need to trying to do none of this stuff. You heard what Secretary of War said. You see the memo. I'm saying this, man, because I had a warrant officer, man. He freaking the first day I met him when I was doing my eye stop, I met him. He had a beard, and then I seen him the other day, like a couple of days ago, and he had it all shaved off. And you know what he said, man? He said, ain't nobody gonna have to come tell me what I know I need to do, right? You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to come talk to me about this. So I went ahead and just did what I had to do, right? Yeah. So that's my thing to everybody, man, that has a beard. Hey, if you plan on not staying Navy or whatever, do what you got to do. Do your treatment. If it worked, get out, whatever the case may be. But if you plan on staying Navy, just know that this is a thing.
Yeah, we supposed to have some guests on supposed to talk about, like, there's a guy that make a treatment. And we supposed to have people on, and people been reaching out, and I just haven't. We kind of working up a replacement for Denise, and I haven't been able to field all that with my new command and being busy. But we supposed to have somebody come talk about that stuff. I wish I understood what beardos, like, what that means, like, fully. You know, is it just talking about a specific group of people? Is it the people that's abusing the system? I'm assuming that's what it's about, just the ones that could be abusing the system. And I know it's people abusing the system. I'm not oblivious to that. But there's also some people that's not. You know, there's also some people that's not. But, you know, it's things to consider. Like, hey, if you get a beard, maybe the military not for you, you know? And I'm not talking about people that's in now. I'm talking about people that's thinking about joining. Like, maybe it's not. Like, at my job, for instance, like, you can't have a mustache, you know? Like, you can't. And they tell the sellers that when in Great Lakes, like, hey, you can't have a mustache. And if you do have a no shave, you know, profile due to medical reasons, for operational purposes, we could make you shave, you know? Yeah. You can't, like, I mean, they strict about neck tattoos. Like, you can't wear, you got to be able to wear contacts, you know, like at certain times you can't have your glasses on. So it's the military, you know, it's things that you got to acquiesce to that you don't have to acquiesce to in real life. So if I was a person like now with PFB, if I wasn't in the military, I just wouldn't join.
Yeah.
I wouldn't join. It wouldn't be a place I wanted to go if I had PFB. You know, now we got some people that's in now and then their whole life would be impacted by if they had to get out. But like you said, like you just said, Damon, like I can't say it better than you. Like, start to prepare. Whatever way it is or whatever it is you need to do, get prepared for it. I had PFB before. Like I probably still do. I still get bumps. Yeah. I still get bumps, but they not that crazy. When they changed, like back in 2020, like when they changed the thing, I'm like, man, I ain't about to be going through all this just to keep having a beard. Like it was like too much. Like I'm not doing all this. I could just shave, you know. Yeah. And it was when me and a bunch of the junior sellers was sitting around on the ship like, yo, what are we gonna do? You know, and some of them was finding ways to get another, you know, profile. I'm like, I ain't doing that shit. I'm not going through that. Plus, I ain't really want to play with Jess like that. Like, yo, Jess, man. Like, my shit wasn't bumpy enough. I ain't want Jess, like, inspecting my neck and all that.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's rough to some people, man. You know, this is probably the most talked about one, even at my command, where I just
can't even have beards.
Yeah, I mean, and it's people there with beards. You know, it's people there with beards. But it's people there with religious exemptions and all. But it's probably the most talked about one because people have been wanting these beards for a long time, man. But
yeah,
we not getting them. You know, we not getting them.
It's over.
Don't be mad at me. You know, hey, y'all, look, don't be mad at me for accepting it. You know, we not getting them shits. You know,
it's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's definitely over. Hey, those are the memos, y'all.
That's it, man. I hope we did it justice, man. I know you guys thought we was gonna come on here and get cray with it, but
yo, like, what did y'all think? Like, what did y'all think we gonna do? Like, that's my question. Like, what did y'all think we are? Like, what did y'all think we were gonna do with these topics? You know, the thing that could have, you know, caused the stir might have been the assessment of like the meeting in Quantico or something like that. But these memos ain't super crazy like that. These memos pretty cut and dry, you know, but you know, some of them is things we disagree with. I hope I was able to say what I didn't agree with, and it's things we do agree with, you know, and I hope I was able to say that. But what the fuck y'all think we about to get on here and do?
Yeah. 100.
My mom know how I feel about certain stuff. You know what I mean? like my wife, my mother-in-law, but what are y'all, like, I don't understand this. Like, we are command master chiefs at our respective commands. Like, what the fuck y'all think we about to do? Man?
Shit.
Yo, okay. They go crash up. I'm mad Aaron not here today. I wanted Aaron to crash. Like, I was going to try to make him crash. But he's not. Like, some of this stuff is like not much to really crash on. And then some of the stuff that you would crash on don't have nothing to do with military or our military podcast anyway. Yeah. It's all other craziness. You know what I mean? Y'all funny though. They funny, Dame. I could talk about them for 20 minutes because I love y'all. Like, but y'all want us to get up in here and do, man. You know?
Acts, man. Acts.
Oh, man. Where are we at, man? Where are we? You wonder is it safe to have all the admirals and generals in one location? I saw you ask that in the notes.
Yeah. we kind of passed that portion right now. We talked a little bit about it. I was just thinking about it that day when it first came out. And the first time I heard they was going to be there, I was like, man, if somebody want to take us out right now, think about it right now. We got all these admirals and generals and senior leadership in one location. I thought that was a bad idea, just in case somebody want to do whatever. But no, it is what it is.
I don't think so. Play. You put all them together. Play with that area if you want. Go fly around Quantico. They done planned all that. President there, SecDef there, all those generals and admirals there. Go play around Quantico if you want.
Yeah, you're right about that shit. Out. Yeah.
FAFO.
Yeah, bro, he said that.
I know. I was.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to reference it.
Yeah,
I was trying to reference it.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
Yeah, man. All right, I think it's only right after all that doom and gloom to go to the Hero of the Week, which I think you submitted one, but it's my week, dog. It's my week, man.
It's your week, man.
Yeah, so let me go. Hero of the Week is Private First Class Jacklyn Harold Lucas, right? And I'm going to read the citation first because it's a lot of stuff with him outside of the citation that I think is kind of cool. And then some of the stuff is things that I would question, but it's hazy because it's an old story, right? So forgive me, y'all. Forgive me for that. So Hero of the Week, Jacklyn Harold Lucas, Private First Class. Conflict era was World War II. Unit Command, Company C, 1st Battalion, 26 Marines, 5th Marine Division, Marine Corps Reserve. Medal of Honor action date, February 20th, 1945. Medal of Honor action place, Iwo Jima, Volcano Islands, right? So for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving with the 1st Battalion, 26 Marines, 5th Marine Division during action against enemy Japanese forces on Iwo Jima, Volcano Islands, 20 February 1945. While creeping through a treacherous, twisting ravine which ran in close proximity to a fluid and uncertain front line on D-Day +1, Private First Class Lucas and 3 other men were suddenly ambushed by a hostile patrol which savagely attacked with rifle fire and grenades. Quick to act when the lives of the small group were endangered by 2 grenades which landed directly in front of them, Private First Class Lucas unhesitatingly hurled himself over his comrades upon one grenade and pulled the other under him, absorbing the whole blasting forces of the explosions in his body in order to shield his companions from the concussion and murderous flying fragments. By his inspiring action and valiant spirit of self-sacrifice, he not only protected his comrades from certain injury or possible death, but also enabled them to rout the Japanese patrol and continue the advance. His exceptionally courageous initiative and loyalty reflect the highest credit upon Private First Class Lucas and the United States Naval Service.
Yeah.
Right? So it was 11, the Japanese forces, it was 11 of them. And they all died. You know, so they all died. So there's a couple things about him that's pretty interesting, right?
Okay.
So he's not the youngest person to win a Medal of Honor. The youngest person to win a Medal of Honor was an 11-year-old drummer, right? Who I think he drummed for like 48 hours straight or 3 days straight or something. I'm kind of off. We'll talk about him one day, but and Abe Lincoln gave him the Medal of Honor. But so Private First Class Lucas is the youngest Marine and the youngest serviceman in World War II to be awarded the Medal of Honor. He was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was 17 when this happened. Eventually, after that, he commissioned into the Army and reached the rank of captain. And then on October 2023, we commissioned a ship after him, USS Jack H. Lucas, DDG 125, in his honor at Port of Tampa, Tampa Bay, Florida, right? A couple more things about him that's pretty interesting. He joined at 14. So it says on August 8th, 1942, he enlisted in the Marine Corps Reserve in Norfolk, forging his mother's name on a parental consent form, falsely giving his age as 17 and bribing a notary. He was in fact only 14, but was 5'8" and 180 pounds with a muscular build. So he went straight to Paris Island and he qualified sharpshooter. during his rifle qual. And somehow he survived. It's reported that he survived a training jump in which both of his parachutes malfunctioned. He volunteered to serve in Vietnam, but was not allowed to go. Ended his time, and this was like later in his career. He ended his time as a captain in 1965 in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he was training younger troops who would see action in Vietnam. So yeah, there's a lot with Private First Class Jacklyn Harold Lucas.
Yeah, man. That's crazy story, bro. Crazy story. But hey, man, the leaders back then, bro, the stuff they used to do and go through, man, like the want, the willpower to exceed and all that stuff, man. It's like crazy, man. Like
I think he like jumped onto like a ship with like combat forces that were on their way to go fight.
Yeah.
To go fight with like he left like his division or whatever to go with the people that was about to go fight. And he got like marked UA or something. Like, but he was trying to get out there, bro. Like he was trying to get out there.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. You know, man, back then too, man, like you said something. I think we are probably already, like I have read a couple times now about parachutes malfunctioning and they live. Man, they was just built different.
Yeah. And that's what I be getting at. That's what we getting at. Like people different. People just different.
Built different, bro. God,
like it ain't too many people, nowadays that's surviving, parachute malfunctions, bro.
For real, man.
So this guy though, man. Like so later on in life, right? Because I always dig into this. He lived. He didn't die from like holstering the grenades. Like he lived even from that, right? So, because later on is the parachute thing. So he had already, the parachute thing, and he had already survived like cradling like 2 grenades. He messed up like a side of his body or something like that, but he lived. One of the grenades that he had in his hand didn't actually go off. But at some point in his life, his wife and stepson had a murder plot against him, bro. Like they wanted, so he became like a butcher in Maryland, and he had like a butcher company. But at some point in his life, his wife and stepson they wanted to kill him, and they got like arrested for conspiracy. But he actually vouched for them to like get out. So there's a lot with his story, and I always think like, damn, what if we dig into all these Medal of Honor guys' stories and like, try to cut through them with a knife and see what it looked like. So it's a lot in his story, but pretty interesting. And 17 years old, man, like a hell of an act of bravery for that guy, man.
Yeah.
And he died at 80. He died in 08. So, he lived a long time.
Lived a good life, man. I mean, I lived a long time in a way.
Yeah. All right. So let me follow up our do better from last week. We read a comment from Freddy Whisner. I put it out as a clip. We ain't been able to put too many clips out, but I was able to put the conversation out as a clip. And this was a conversation about like rank and privileges. Some people rock with that. I know Captain Aloda rocked with you, David. He said everybody else was tap dancing. He said, I wasn't really tap dancing. I just was trying to ignite the conversation. And I don't think Aaron was tap dancing either. I think he was saying his honest opinion, you know what I mean? But Captain Lotus said everybody was tap dancing. But so some people rocked with you, some people didn't rock with Aaron, and some people rocked with Aaron and didn't rock, whatever. But Freddy Whisner, the person who it was his do better, when we put this on Facebook, he responded. So we finally got some more input. So when I asked him to do a deeper dive, he didn't respond then, and maybe he didn't see that. But when we put this back out again, he responded in the comments. And I want to read what he said because I think it adds a little bit of context to what I think he tried to check us. So he tried to think he was checking us. What's up, bro? But it says, and I showed him some love after this, but it says, and remember that one was about rank and privileges and stuff. And Aaron had read it away language-wise. Yeah. And I thought it was a typo. And I just thought what he said didn't make sense. But it's funny because when I read it again later, I realized what Aaron was getting at and was like, oh, I could see where it does make sense. But nonetheless, this is what he said. He said, we do not deserve anything more than them, right? He said, we did not. So this is from the perspective of an E7 and senior person. We do not deserve anything more than them. And that's E6 and junior. We did earn our rank, but some take it further than they should. Why do we feel we are entitled to have privileges like all you could eat, open drink stations, cleaning the head, take the trash out, show up to cleaning stations and clean, stand at DRB after you have stayed out all night and punish them for the same thing half the mess just did? And the shore patrol looked out because it's your brother and sister or section leader. Be the leader that does what is right, and a lot of us don't. My personal opinion. Separation is needed for good order and discipline, but we're not entitled to anything. Study, be the subject matter experts. We get a lot different. Liberty should be that we are all adults and treated as it and held accountable if messed up. We allow the 24-year-old ensign to stay out, but not the 24 E5. The adults get in trouble, but we treat them like kids. We ground them, take half the allowance. You all have felt temps. You could, oh no. He said you all have fleet temps. You could have checked if I'm a chief. Laughing out loud, no shade. Man, we not checking fleet temps for commenters, dog. You know? And I get that he just joking, but we ain't checking fleet temps, bro. It says, we are not special. Stay blessed, everyone. Stay blessed, everyone. We're not entitled to anything. Happy to disagree. Nothing happened. I'm just over the BS. Who's fries? Cheese fries, right? So I got two things. The first is we ain't checking fleet temps on nobody who make comments. That's correct. We ain't fleet temp checkers. Like, that ain't us. But I think I'm too, like, honestly, let me be straight with you, dog. I think I'm too cool to be checking fleet temps on people, dog. That ain't even in my swag profile, bro. Like, I'm not checking fleet temps on nobody. Yo, who made this comment? Let's check his fleet tip. I think you start to walk down another rabbit hole where you checking fleet tips on people that make comments, because then you gonna start doing it on like negative comments. And honestly, I don't care that much. I'm not checking fleet tips, but I did find out that he was a chief. And then the second thing I want to say just about these kind of things is when we started the podcast, and this don't got nothing to do with Freddie, but when we started the podcast to explore thoughts on different topics. That's a good topic to explore thoughts on. And another thing I want to say to young sailors that might listen is, honestly, that's probably a microcosm of what could happen in the Chiefs mess, because it's different people that got different opinions. And something that you could gain from it was, because a lot of that episode, it was things Aaron brought up that I was like, shit, I didn't look at it like that. And then I was able to look at it that way, especially in the conversation about the Chiefs initiation and the pinning. Aaron brought up a couple things that helped me, right? So it's like sharpening each other's sword. Like, so these are the kind of conversations that we have to have so we can get better. And it's better to think, sometimes it's better to have that help and that cohesion and the people to go in with different points of view, because you can see it a different way. Because, you might jump in the conversation off the top rope, Damon, like, this how I feel. But then I could interject, Aaron could interject, and then like, you could consolidate a different opinion about it than when you started. So a lot of times that's what those conversations are, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, man, I like this, man. I like the whole conversation on what he's talking about, especially now I know that he's a chief.
Yeah,
it's a different perspective about it. But some of the stuff, instructions and rules or instructions and all that stuff, ain't nothing we can kind of like do about it. But at the same time, if you're having this conversation and you're a mess, I guarantee you, you can make change, man.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have sparked the conversation. A lot of times we get in the mess and it's tribal knowledge of things that can happen forever in the Navy. And we just do it like that. But when somebody challenges the status of anything, you see people's hands get raised.
Yeah.
People want to have that conversation, but it's about that though. It's about saying something. It's about opening your mouth. That's why I like this so much more now than I did before, because this is a guy that's in the mess and saying this, right?
Yeah.
To me, man, I like that because that will open up. And I like discussions. That's why I like this. I like us sitting down at a table, having a discussion about something. And then by the time we leave there, like, oh shit. Right? Like, oh shit. Okay. I can see that. the 24-year-old instant thing and the 24 E5 thing. I don't know what we can do about that.
Yeah. It's always a conversation, though.
But it's always a conversation.
Always a conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I like this, man. For anybody out there that's thinking, on these lines, man, always speak up. You never know, the outcome unless you speak up and say something, right?
Yeah.
So.
And there's different ways to do things. So like in one of them comments, somebody like dissed Aaron, like, yo, he probably the type of dude that, and I wish people stop doing that in the comments because y'all don't know who people, like if you don't listen to the pod and you just watching the clip, you really don't know who people are like that. And even if you do listen to the pod, some of the things about people you don't know unless you know us and so like I do want people to stop doing that as well. And I want to say about you, Damon, I ain't never see you like take advantage, like mad advantage of like rank. Like, yo, I'm this rank, get out of my way. Like
yeah,
I ain't never see you do that anyway in every like facet. So we talking to people that don't necessarily, like it's shit that like, they be asking me about my dry cleaning and stuff. I'll be like, they be like, hey, I don't even have a like, you got to knock on my door rule. Motherfuckers be trying to knock on your door when your door open. Like, I don't even have those kind of rules, like, yo, just come in and talk to me,
Yeah.
So we not talking about people that like practicing a lot of that stuff anyway. Like, I would get down and dirty with the rest of the rest of us. I've been at commands where wasn't nobody really getting down and dirty, but if it's time to get down and dirty, I'm doing it. So it's just different. Now we do have a new do better from a seller. This is another long one. It's probably along the same lines too. It says, one thing junior sellers could do to make the Navy better: be open to understanding that maybe the old way or a different way is the okay way to go. You have older service members who, I'll be reading these the way they written, y'all.
Yeah.
And just so y'all know, I mess up words too sometimes when I re-listen to pods and I'll be like, damn, I said that. But you have older service members who has been around the block and understand how things work. Don't just do the work because Chief told you. Learn why the way you're doing it is, hopefully, the best way to do it. And one thing leadership can do to make the Navy better, lead by example. Too many khaki leadership is getting away with things that they should not be doing. I understand they are human and will mess up, but if a junior seller did the same thing, they would be in CO's mask the next day. Too many times have seen a chief truly mess up and the mess took care of it, but yet nothing or perceived as nothing happened. Yes, maybe the chief's mess handles it, but when it's a continuing problem and nothing happens, that is a problem. Only once in my career have I seen a chief be held accountable for his actions and it resulted in him being removed from the ship. Note, that was not me saying that's the only time if seeing the same thing happen. It's just the only time I've seen one be held accountable. I've been on 4 destroyers and that isn't even all the commands I've been at. So that's a do better from somebody.
Yeah. So 2 things. I only have 2 things on this one. One, I've been saying that forever, is different ways of doing things. And I like that. I like empowering sailors, to go out there and create and do things a certain way, long as you're not breaking nothing, long as ain't nobody dying and blah, 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 right? So I agree 100% with that. Now back to holding the mess accountable and all that stuff. I think the reason that is said is because it's not public, right? We don't go but some people, some commands, it may be public. I don't know. But a lot of times, you're right, things do happen behind closed doors with leadership. Mm-hmm. And then you can have your opinion on, is that the right thing or is not the right thing, right? I kind of it's things out there that happen to chiefs and happen to khakis with letters that they'll never make rank again. And you probably won't even know about it, right? Yeah. But it's those things are out there and it's not made public. And I think the reason why it's not made public is because it's a chief getting in trouble is never about that chief. It's about the chief mess. And I think same thing with the wardroom and things like that. I think that's part of the reason why it's not as public because of the perceived notion. Well, I don't know if I'm saying it right. The perceived of, the leadership as the mess, right? So if you start putting all this stuff, damn, the chief mess fucked up. Our leadership, if I say the chief mess fucked up, first thing you may think is the leadership is fucked up, right? That's not nothing that we are trying to put in the air or whatever the case would be. So we hold this sailor accountable, or chief or whoever accountable. That could be removing them off the ship, DFC. That could be DFC. Everybody sees that. So that's, they being held accountable because you see it. But
when you say everybody sees it. Oh, because they leaving?
The ship. The ship. When I say everybody, I mean the ship sees it. Junior sailors, everybody say, okay, they got held accountable because they got removed from the ship. But you may not see they got this letter that they cannot never make rank again. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Not the fact that they're not being held accountable. But then on the side of this, it is shit out there. You're right. It is shit out there that probably been swept on the rug. But guess what? It's also stuff from a junior sailor that been swept under the rug. Right? It happens. Right? Like you say, swept under the rug. So, I don't know, man. I'm kind of in between on that. I got to put some more thought into that question about
It wasn't a question. It was just a do better, though.
Do better, yeah.
So I'm not going to respond to it because it don't necessarily warrant, my response. It's just a do better from one of them. But I will ask a question though about DRB. It's either for you or for the listeners. What makes DRB public? Is it the fact that the seller's standing outside the chief mess before it happens?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes DRB public, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So if, like, for instance, like because it made me think, like, at my command, I can implement that. I don't want sellers standing outside for DRB. I just want them to be, like, kind of hit up by their chief when it's time and report. Right? What's up?
Go ahead. I was thinking about the standing outside, and man, sometimes they just get in their whites or blues and they automatically think they go to DRB.
Yeah. So I was going to say the uniform, right? So the uniform and being outside is what makes DRB public.
Yeah.
So to equate, because chiefs do get into things inside the chief's mess too. Like, so basically my point is, like, DRB nothing else about DRB is public. Like, except for the uniform and standing outside. So any other part about DRB that's public is from other people saying that this person going to DRB and this person going to DRB and talking about it amongst each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this person going to. So what makes it like a mass conversation around the ship now is the conversation that we're having. Like, fuck, man, I'm going to DRB and, boom, boom. So that's what makes it outside of the uniform and standing outside. So the only way to equalize that would be to have a chief in uniform standing outside the mess. But chiefs are part of the mess and they eat them. But things do happen in a mess, and my brain is going crazy right now. But things do happen in a mess, and chiefs do get held accountable and questioned. And I've seen a few DRBs of chiefs inside of the mess. But chiefs might not be going around saying, like, hey, I got my fucking DRB this week. And other people probably not saying it either. So it's not as public facing as, like, the young seller that's mad as hell that they going to DRB and telling everybody.
Yeah.
Outside of the fact that you got to wear your uniform and report. I'm interested in what makes a DRB so public. Because a lot of people don't even talk about CO's mask. They only talk about DRB. When they talk about these standards that people should be held to the same. And I would try to find, like, a resolution to keep my DRB private if I could. I don't think DRB has to be public or humiliating. It's just what we fact find.
Fact finding. Yeah.
So it could be a way to do DRB not public. And maybe I got resolutions. I don't want to sound crazy on here, but I do have ways to make DRB. Because then it's like, if I X out those ways that made DRB public, and then your DRB is still public, that mean you went around talking about it, man. Like, somebody else on the ship went around talking about it, and y'all did that. Like, when I was the Semio and a couple of your sellers, Damon. You know what I mean? Like, we like, hey, it's a protected conversation, communication. And then 2 minutes later, damn, such and such did such and such to this person, to this day stalker, and this day accuser, and this. It's like, damn, like this was a protected communication. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Yeah. I think sometimes that could be a question too. But you know, we'll see. And I personally think that this conversation made me think about what I would do to make DRB a little bit more private.
Yeah.
And that could sound. Somebody might hate that. That might not be how they did it in 1990, bro.
Yeah, you know 1990, bro.
1990, you lined up outside, boy.
Yeah, man. Like on Baby Boy, man.
Oh, man. Yo, I want to go to my pick of the week. And I want to go to my movie review. But is it anything that we didn't cover?
Nah, I think we hit everything, bro. That we was gonna hit today.
I mean, you got Bad Bunny, the halftime show.
Halftime show, man. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone for a little bit longer, man. You know, the halftime show.
Some people mad about that.
Oh man, they are heated.
Yeah,
we are heated, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think Jay-Z got to work on not alienating like a third of, probably half or 2/3 of the NFL fan base for years and years and years at Super Bowl halftime shows. Like I'm not mad at Bad Bunny at all. Like Bad Bunny, like what Jay-Z been doing is picking the biggest, like for the last 3 years, he been picking the biggest, most active artists of the year as far as like buzz. Usher was, the year Usher did the Super Bowl, Usher was on a tour. He had a residence in Vegas or whatever. He was big. The year Kendrick did the Super Bowl is arguably his biggest year and arguably the biggest year of any rapper ever. Bad Bunny is having an amazing year right now.
Bad Bunny just,
residency in Puerto Rico, probably like $30 million of revenue to Puerto Rico. Like, so he picking the biggest artists of the year. Honestly, you know, when he doing it, it's also a factor of, you know, it's other artists too. You got some country artists and some rock artists, and like, you know, it's a big fan base of those kind of artists too that watch football. And we've been going. I don't even know if we've seen any artists from those genres since Hov took over. You know,
like
I think he started with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, and we ain't looked back since. You know what I mean? So you gotta give them, somebody every now and then.
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton. I mean, give him Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, man.
You know, let's get it. So I'm gonna start with my pick of the week because I'm on the edge of my seat to see if you watch this movie or not. So I'm holding it back. But I'm starting with my pick of the week. My pick of the week is Chance the Rapper, yo. So this is the first non-book of the week, right? So my pick of the week is Chance the Rapper's album, Starline. As much as I could have said Cardi, right? I think Cardi is a little bit more popular right now than Chance is. So I think more people might have heard it. I want to talk about the Chance album because I don't know if a lot of people heard it. So Chance dropped the album a while ago called The Best Day. I think it was over 5 years ago. It was after he got married. The Best Day was probably his worst outing as far as a musical piece. It got panned and people ain't like it, stuff like that. Didn't sound like the Chance people wanted to hear. Before that, his record was pretty impeccable. Like he made pretty good music. I can't say I was the biggest Chance fanatic, but it was some songs that I liked and I respect his pen and the way his songwriting ability. So I did. This time, Chance dropped the album and I was a little curious about it. So I said, yo, let me just put it on. Let me see what Chance is doing. And Chance got one of my all-time favorite verses on a Kanye song or whatever. So I put it on and it was a bright spot in my day, especially coming off the Clips album that was good and Jid album that was good and Freddie Gibbs album that was decent, but I'm not the biggest on the Gibbs and Alchemist album. But this Chance album was fire, bro. It's really good. It's been out now for a little bit. I'm gonna give a couple standout tracks before I give my full-fledged kind of like thought. So the intro, Starside intro is fire. No More Old Men featuring Jamila Woods. Crazy. The Negro Problem featuring BJ the Chicago Kid, Crazy, The Highs and the Lows with Joey Badass, Crazy, Space and Time. It's a bit poppy, but I love that song. Just a Drop with Jay Electronica, and Speed of Love, the last song on the album. His last verse on that last song is crazy. And Jasmine Sullivan, shout out to Philly, is on that song. And if you get a chance, I know my brother listened to it. He got issues with Chance's voice and the way Chance sounds and stuff like that. But if you get a chance, check out that Chance Rapper album. It's really good. I would give it a 4 out of 5, man. It's definitely one of the best albums of the year. And it's the album I listened to just under the Clips. So I'll go to the Clips first, of course. That's my best album of the year. Hopefully it win a Grammy, and GNX does not. And then Chance the Rapper, Starline. That's probably number 2 for me. And Cardi might be number 3.
She is getting some headlines, bro.
Oh, yeah,
my wife loves it.
Cardi in the headlines for crazy reasons. Nick,
it's crazy right now. It's crazy.
Crazy, boy. You got a pick of the week?
But before I get into the pick of the week, man, I want to tell you, bro.
Suspense. Keep me in suspense. Don't do it, chat. Just give me your pick of the week. Keep me in suspense. I want to be suspended till the end.
Okay, my pick of the week and Do Better is the same thing. It's the same. I ain't gonna say it's the same thing, but it's the same. BMW, right? That's my pick. And then I'll tell you about my Do Better right afterwards, man. I picked BMW, man, because it's the first time ever I get a phone call from BMW telling me about everything I need to do with a timeline. Mm-hmm. Meaning my oil change. They calling me, bro. Ain't nobody ever called me and told me, hey, in 45 days, you need an oil change. Told me when I need to get my brakes fluid changed in 6 months or whatever, bro. So it went down my whole car profile, and I never had nothing like that happen before. I'm sure other people may have did it. They dealerships does it, but no one ever called me to explain this stuff to them. So I'm gonna tell you right now, BMW, that's good shit. You make me feel like I, thinking about BMW in the future, man, but I don't think so. Now, my Do Better for BMW. How about after all these good things we talked about, the next 45 minutes was somebody trying to sell me on getting another BMW. Come on, BMW. Don't try to pump me up, and I'm thinking in my mind all these great things, and then I spend 45 minutes on how I do not want another car right now, right? Or another truck or whatever right now. So that's my Do Better, BMW. I love how you hit me up and telling me all these great things. And I'm like, damn, this pretty innovative. This pretty good stuff. And then hit me with freaking getting an electric BMW for 45 minutes.
So we got a Do Better and a pick of the week, the same exact entity.
Yeah, man.
Oh, BMW. Do better, but also get it.
Yeah. Exactly what I got there.
All right, let's get into this movie review. So finally, let me get off the suspense. Did you watch the movie?
I did not.
Okay.
Paid for it, but didn't watch it.
Okay. I can't. Which you just didn't go to the theater?
Yes, because last night, 6:30, Ella had an event to go to a chief spouse event, and we thought it was going to be done in time. The movie was at 8, and she wasn't done in time.
Okay.
So we didn't get a chance to get it. But I will request, though. You might not go with my request. I request to give this another week.
Let me give a spoiler-free review. Maybe we could get into spoilers next week. Spoiler-free review. Movie of the year. Best movie of the year. Hands down.
Bro?
Well, it's some people saying the last 10 years, last 15 years, last 5 years. Yeah. It's some people saying, a lot of people saying last 10, last 15, last 5. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt and saying movie of the year. It's probably the best movie I've seen in the last 4 years. Easily. Easily the best. 2 hour 4. I saw it with my dad too, and my dad was like, "Yo, that boy Leonardo DiCaprio is." And it's funny. I didn't see it with my dad. My dad watched it, and it's funny hearing my dad come around and realize something. He's like, "Yo, Leonardo don't play." So, easily the best movie of the last 4 years to me. It's the first movie that I've seen in a very long time, and maybe ever, that didn't have one moment of like relaxation, like one dull moment. Like even in those movies, it's like straight action. Sometimes they get boring. Like sometimes those ones are just straight up action packed. They get boring. This movie didn't have that. Like the dialogue was amazing. The acting, Leonardo DiCaprio, like a lot of people are going to talk about DiCaprio, of course. DiCaprio did great, but I think he was a great wingman for other actors. And I think that's showing like his greatness now as an actor on another level, where he got a brand new actress in Chase Infinity who put together, she might be nominated for an Oscar this year. Regina Hall could be nominated for an Oscar this year. Sean Penn will most likely be nominated for an Oscar and got a really good chance to win. Sean Penn, from his mannerisms, the way he walked, to everything he did, he fully encompassed the role that he went for. Benicio del Toro, amazing. Even when I was talking to my dad about it, he was like, well, that's, he don't know the actors' names. He was like, that's the bull, though. He was like, that's the bull. Like, he always do good. Yeah, Benicio del Toro is always amazing, like, great actor. So it's an all-star cast. And then Tiana Taylor, it's crazy because Assata Shakur passed away. Like, but Tiana's role was kind of, it was kind of reminiscent of her. So, but Tiana Taylor did amazing in this movie for her. She to me was probably the worst of every actor in the movie, but she in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, and Benicio del Toro is not, and she still looked great and did great, and people like her. And this movie is going to open her up to everything. It's going to open Chase Infinity up to everything. The script was great. It was enough action in a movie to keep you suspended through the whole entire movie. It was funny. So it's Leo and his funny, like Wolf of Wall Street, like could be funny, but still. So that was one of my early criticisms. I loved Leo forever, but one of my early criticisms of Leo was like, he always be so serious in his roles. Like this another one. If anybody saw Wolf of Wall Street, you know how funny that was. This was another one that was pretty much funny throughout. So what the movie's about, for anybody that ain't, that's wondering what it's about, he's a freedom fighter. So him and Tiana Taylor, they are part of this freedom fighter group. It's called the Something 75. And they eventually, because it's parts of the story that I don't want to say, but eventually he gets like washed up. Like eventually it's 16. So the movie start with them like being freedom fighters and doing stuff. And then a chain of events happen that eventually now it's 16 years later and he's off the grid with his daughter. But eventually the past comes back in Sean Penn to get him. For a certain reason that's also very contributive to the story. So I don't want to say the reason why Sean Penn comes back. But when Sean Penn come back, he come back to get Leo and his daughter. So now it's about like watching this washed up freedom fighter like try to like, and he's a weed head, he a drug head and stuff. So it's like watching him try to get his bearings back so he could save his family, and it's and the girl is the baby of him and Tiana Taylor, which everything, like, it's so much I'm not saying, but it all matters to the story. Super, like a Pulp Fiction. I saw somebody say it was a 12 out of 10. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 film. It's a perfect movie. It definitely will win awards and definitely will be nominated for awards. Paul Thomas Anderson is the director. He did an amazing job. And I think everybody feel the same about this movie. I haven't heard anybody come back from watching this movie and say anything short of it was epic. It was one of the best movies they've seen in the last 2 to 3 years.
I like it. Yeah. Okay. I'm most definitely going to go see it, man.
Yeah. The final scene in that movie is crazy, Damon. That's all I'm going to say. It's a car chase scene in that movie. That's crazy. So I'm interested in your thoughts when you come back from watching this movie.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I'm probably going to call you afterwards too.
Yeah, you can hit me up.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Shit, man. I want to say before we get up out of here, man, I want to say a couple more things, man. One, If you guys didn't watch that Rams and 49er game, it was epic and 49ers pulled it out. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
And also, Ole Miss, man, ranked number 4. You know, we making some noise, man. I can't be more happy about sports right now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was a load, y'all. It was a load, man. This episode was a load, man. Hopefully y'all had fun with us, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. Mississippi, stand up.